Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @Sewing Street. We have Facebook. We've got two Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All three of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those three and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you. Good morning, I'm John Cole Morgan and welcome to Sewing Street. It's lovely to have you here this morning and I'm really excited about our lovely little early bird we've got today. This is 10 different colour spools of thread from Gutermann, which we all know those are normally £1.90 each. Plus we've got this fabulous tape measure. And of course, because it's such a great deal, I wanted to make sure we had loads of price comparisons to double check. And I am so shocked by what we've got here today. Absolutely huge savings. So we've got look at that. Look at those 10 different colours. You've got all this gorgeous red and orange and yellow. All the colours you need of the rainbow. Plus then you've got your white and your black as well. But this tape measure as well included. 60-inch tape measure there. Really great. And the price comparisons now, just look at this. We've looked today now. This is now a different, one of our competitors. Look at the price of that, $18.99. But look there, you can see they're out of stock. They've sold out because it's such a great product. So we can guarantee we have not found anywhere else that is able to match the price that we've got this at. This is our early bird special. Very special price for you. Really fabulous product today. Just to kind of say thank you for joining us this early in the morning. So we don't want you to miss out on this opportunity this morning. So shall we then see the price? Just to see how much we've done. Look at that, $14.99. So that's £4 cheaper than our competitor. But if you just look at what you're getting as well, have a look at this. Fabulous little presentation box. Beautifully well packed. I can barely get it out. But look, see, now I love a good tape measure. I absolutely love a good tape measure. So this one is 60 inches. You've got the imperial on the one side, you've got the metric on the other. But what I love about the metric is that it shows you every 10 centimetres there's a different colour. And it's a nice, good thickness on that as well. Really nice quality on that. So you've got 11 items here for 14 different items. That's going to be, how much was that? £1.36 per item. Now I can tell you now, you're paying more than £1.36 just for the tape measure. And then these threads, you're normally paying, I can't remember where I get them, you're looking around about £1.90 per thread. But just look, you've got this gorgeous black. These black and whites are just kind of staples that you'd have in your collection anyway. So those would just be your normal thread. But now these are such great threads, 100 meters of each of them. But look, you've got your beautiful little rainbow here. Now I'm going to get this wrong with setting out my rainbow. I know I am. Because then how would you classify that? Would that be there? I would put that there. Oh, so knock it all down again. And orange. Oh. I'm doing really well with these. But look at those gorgeous colours. And you've still got a cute little box that they come in as well with this tape measure as well. So these are really popular already this morning. Oh my goodness, we're already down to less than 30. But you can tell why. Look how much you're getting. 100 meters of each one. So there's 1,000 meters of thread here. Gorgeous Gutermann thread. Great quality, as we know. This gorgeous little tape measure as well. All that for $14.99. Absolutely, really great. And I love them because you've got your little presentation box as well. as a nice little gift, just as a nice little thing to have in your sewing studio, because I know for myself, I like having different things that just, oh, hang on, I can't talk and sort at the same time. That's moved down, that's why. But even just in your studio, look at that. Wouldn't that just be nice on a little shelf that you're looking at? And just having on the shelf to look at? Because we've all got those lovely things that we buy that we don't actually use. We just use them there to inspire us, give us a little bit of excitement in it. But just look at all these threads. I love these colours. I'm not too sure what my favourites in these are, because I think just those three alone are gorgeous. And again, you'd be paying £1.90 at least for each of these. And that's just on the threads would be £19. But then you're looking at about £2–3 for that as well. Maybe £3–4, because I've not seen these before. But it would be really good advantage for you really good for you to take advantage of the early bird this early. But look at this gorgeous, what would you call that? Purple? It's a fuchsia colour, but it's just so lovely. Cerise, possibly? I just love those colours. They're just so vibrant. It's just our little way of being able to say thank you so much for watching us so early in the morning. And it's definitely a price we can't repeat. So once these are gone, unfortunately, we won't be able to bring it back to you at that price again. But it's just, I love these. And this tape measure, love a good tape measure here. You can just... I use tape measures all the time because I'm a long arm quilter. I have to go and measure up a quilt and see how long it is and everything. And 60 inches is a really great size because sometimes I've got the really, really long one, which is 180 inches, and that's just enormous. I can never find the right end and everything. But 60 works really, really well because whatever you're measuring, you'd be able to do that and you just pop it down and then move along if it's a little bit longer. Really great size. And you can wear it around your neck. I love it. So the centimetres side of things is 150 centimetres. And as you can see, you've got the Italian flag there, the red, green and white. For every 10 centimetres, they've done you as a different colour, which is really, really helpful, I think. I wish they'd do that on the inches side. It would be a little bit easier for us on the inches side. We're really good to hear. There's lots of you coming in today. Thank you so much for joining us so early in the morning. And don't forget, if you've got the early bird this morning, you then paid your P&P, because you've got the one-day P&P all day, so you pay £3.95 for your postage and packaging all day. That's whether you buy on the website or whether you buy online, you'll only be charged the one postage and packaging all day. So you've got this gorgeous tape measure, 60-inch tape measure, imperial and metric. You can see the yellow bit underneath there. That's the imperial side, and the metric, you've got the centimetres on the other side there. You're getting that tape measure. You're getting this black and this white colour, just as sort of what you'd call, I suppose, your standard sewing threads. But then you get all these gorgeous colours to go with it. And the great thing with Gutermann is the threads are so multifaceted that you can use them for top stitching, you can use them for quilting, you can use them for piecing. It's just a really gorgeous little colour combination there. In this presentation box, which is too adorable, and... Oh, I've just heard that we've done another price comparison. Just the tape measure on its own is £3.15. And you're paying £1.90 per thread usually for a 100-metre thread of Gutermann. So that would be looking at, what, £22, £23? So this today we've been able to bring you at £14.99. We did a price comparison earlier. And we're going to do our price comparison now, have a check at this, just to try and make sure we get you the best deals that we can, because obviously we've got great products. We want to make sure we get you the best price as well. And you're joining us nice and early. You've got to have a little bit of a reward for that as well. So we've now got that price comparison coming in. There we go, $18.99 for exactly the same thing. But you can see how well that they've done with this product, even at that price, because it's completely sold out. You've got to love it when that happens, don't you? So don't hang around with this. We were at less than 30 the last time I heard on Stockwise, so don't hang around. If you do want it, oh, half the stock is gone already. Very, very popular product this morning. So if you are looking to get this and you have got it in your basket, until you've checked out, it's not yours, and somebody can, unfortunately, take it out of your basket if you haven't paid for it yet. So don't leave that behind. You don't want you to miss out. Really lovely, lovely product, that. So now if you want to shop with us, you can go onto our website. The easiest way of doing it is www.sewingstreet.com. If you prefer not to use the website and want to call our wonderful call centre just up the road here, that's 0800 001 4433. And they'll be able to answer any of your questions or queries and be able to place all the orders today. So if you're brand new with us and you haven't shopped with us before, our sister channel, Jewellery Maker, we're in the process, because we're such a new channel and everything's still being developed and going on now, we're sharing the website with Jewellery Maker. So when you go on and you see Jewellery Maker, don't worry, you're in the right place. It's just that we're sharing the, getting our own website built at the moment, hoping to have that in a couple of more weeks. So yeah, you're on the Jewellery Maker page, you're on the right place. Don't worry, everything diverts to there for the moment. And then you'll see the lovely little screen with a live YouTube feed of what's going on. And if you now want to make sure that you want to stay in touch with us, you've got all our social media platforms as well. We've got facebook.com/sewingstreettv. That's our channel. That's the best way to message into us, and that way you can stay in touch with us. If you've got a question for us in the studio, message through to us there, and we're monitoring it constantly, so you'll be able to then have your question answered on air if you like. Failing that, you can get in touch with us on Instagram, which is @SewingStreet, or we've got our fans page on Facebook as well, which is Sewing Street Fans. We've got our YouTube page as well, which is great because you've got all the tutorials of everything that we do each day. Every show that we've got is on our YouTube page. So if you just search for Sewing Street on YouTube, you'll be able to find every one of our shows. So if there's a demo that you may have missed, or you've bought the product and you want to come back to it a few weeks later, you just need to look it up on YouTube and there it'll be. Forever and ever. We have got so much to bring you today. Really, really lovely, lovely things. I'm going to give you a sneak peek if I can. Can I? I'm going to do a little sneak peek. Anybody who knows me knows I absolutely adore Stack and Whack, and I have been nagging and nagging and nagging to bring Stack and Whack, and we've done the 60-degree Stack and Whack with you today. Fabulous fabric, really, really great. This is one of the 2 fabric ranges we've got in our Stack and Wax today. That's coming up at 9 o'clock, so don't worry, we will be back with these later. I thought I'd do a smaller project as well for a change, because normally I make these enormous quilts, so we want to make something a bit smaller as well, because people prefer smaller products. But we've got these amazing products today. This is the first time I am seeing this today. Yep, this is the first time I've seen the rainbow roll. I am absolutely loving it. We did a design roll race a couple of weeks ago with our beautiful geometrics, and what one of the ladies did is she took one of our sunset rolls and put it with one of these. It looked amazing. So this is what you're going to get. 16 strips, which are 55 inches wide by 2.5 inches high. This is our fabric roll, design roll panel here. And that is such a great price of $14.99. It's 140 centimeters by 1 meter. So 1.4 meters by 1 meter. And just if I turn this sideways, you'll be able to see the different gradations of the color here for the rainbow. Sorry if I make you all a bit dizzy doing that. But look at that. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. But they've got a nice little spot on it as well, but the spot follows through with each fabric, just going, so you can see that's got the blue of the one next to it, and the one next to it's got a little bit of the purple. So we've got the synergy of colour going all the way through this design roll bundle. It's a really great price, this as well, $14.99. And it's so versatile. You can use so many different things for this. Especially at this day and age, people are wanting to make all the rainbows and in celebration of everybody who's working so hard. This is absolutely a gorgeous way of being able to do that as well. If you can just make up any pattern you like with it, but you've got the great fabrics here to do it on. Look at that. Doesn't that just sing to you in the morning? It really does make you smile. When I was driving in this morning, it was absolutely chucking it down all the way here. So it's just nice to see a nice little bit of colour, because normally I get a gorgeous sunrise coming in, but unfortunately today with it being so rainy, it's nice to get such a nice big pop of colour. Just look at that. And the detailing on it as well. These tiny little dots are so adorable. I'm going to pop a ruler on it as well. And poor Joe's running around changing all the camera lenses. If we go onto the overhead, I can show you then just the size of the dots, etc. as well. So you can see there, it's a really beautiful colourway. And just the way they've done the dots in it is so lovely. So that's our 2.5 inches there, and you can see the dots just a little bit smaller than 1/4 inch. Do you know what would also be really, really good is binding. I adore my bindings, and actually doing this as a binding, so if you've got a quilt that's got reds and oranges and yellows in it, sorry, I'm moving the fabric then while Joe's working, you could then put the dark red, you can put sort of that colourway in, going as an increase, decrease of colour all the way around your quilt. That would be stunning. Or bags even, you could do that as well. They're really lovely. One of my friends, actually, she had a new granddaughter, and she actually made a dress out of somebody for the granddaughter, doing like a little patchwork dress. This would be really cute, doing the sort of the skirt in that. If you just cut that way out, it'd be really pretty. And do the top in that as well, maybe. Maybe you'd have a very tall grandchild at that point. So this is back in stock today, $14.99. But this always does sell out. That's probably why I've never seen it, because each time I come on air, I'm doing a different one, and then I don't get to see this one. A really, really lovely colourway there. I really like that. So we've got some more strips coming up later, but that one's at $19.99. So this one's $14.99. Really good price for you. Look at us with our good prices for you this morning. So now, backing fabrics. I cannot tell you how I have been even struggling to keep these on. These are so great. This fabulous little squiggle. I love doing my little trick of showing you how much fabric you get with it. So I'm going to pin this onto, I think we called her Susan, didn't we? I think I called my little mannequin Susan. So you can see now, because she works so hard holding the fabric up there as well. She needs a little name. So you can see just how big this is. This is 280 centimetres wide, so 108 inches by 1/2 metre for $8.99. It's such a great product, really. But look at all those squiggly lines. They're just so different and so fun. But it's, I know we're calling it backing, but you've got so much fabric here. You can use this for bag making, dress making, anything on it. Homeware, even duvets. That would be really good. And 100% cotton duvets are really expensive as well. I still want to know how you put a duvet in a duvet cover without getting a little bit stressed about it all. But that is just such a lovely colourway. This is now called the Natural. I'm going to just show you the squiggle there. Look at that. Do you know what I would do with this as well? Is you could colour in the little sections. You could use your embroidery machine. You see where you've got that circle there? You could use a different colour embroidery thread with that as well. Because you know when you were a child, you used to do all these little squiggles, and then, or not even as a child, you used to do all those squiggles and then colour them all in as different sections. Sort of that Mondrian / Picasso-esque way of doing it. Really lovely. So that's our Natural. I've got 4 other colours for you today. I'm really... So if say, for example, you were looking for 3 meters of this, you would add 6 units, just working that out. Yes, 6 by 1/2 meter is 3 meters. So you would add 6 units into your basket at $8.99, and you'd have your 3 meters of fabric by 2.8 meters. Because the different units that you do with this fabric, unless it's in a bundle, you'll get them as joined up pieces. That is a lot of fabric for $8.99. Look how much that is. So it's 2.8 meters wide. So even half of that is more than a 1/2 meter of fabric normally. But just look at this. Oh, Susan's lost a pin. We almost lost the fabric. Because for the back of your quilts, I think back of quilts are always forgotten. And I think you always want to get something it's as exciting as your front, but not detracting from your front, which enhances it. And these colours that we've got here go with everything. But look at that purple. Look at the navy. It's black lines on the navy there, which we're struggling to see. There you go, if you can see the black lines on the back there. Which is so great because it's so subtle that you would actually then have a little bit more detail on your fabric to be able to do that. Oh, before we move on to the next one, we've had a message in from Vincent. Morning, Vincent. He's just saying, morning, John. When am I doing my block of the week for? Thank you very much for taking part. I'm so excited. Right, so he's missed out on block 3, so he's just wondering when that will all be available. So as far as I'm aware, sorry, from Betty, not Vincent. That's not me. Sorry, slight little. It's very early in the morning. Sorry, Betty. Morning. How are you? Block 3, 1, 2, and 3 should be available on the website at the moment. If it's not, on Friday at 9 a.m. it will be available because we've been selling it so well. Some of the stock needs to just be reprinted. So if you are at any point you're missing out on a block, don't worry. It'll just take a couple of days to reprint everything and redo the fabric. But we will be with you again on the Friday at 9 a.m. when the next week's installment comes along. And thank you so much for taking part. Everybody who's doing it, it just gives me such a thrill to see all the social media posts about them. It's really, really great. And I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. They're looking fantastic. We've even got the Haleys and Hannah taking part. I love it. Because Hayley B, I don't think she's quilted before, has she? And she's now doing this for the first time as well. This is now white. I'm just trying to see which side's the right side. Oh, that's it. What a lovely fabric that is. Now, I love a good white on white, and I think it's really, really hard to find a good white on white. But it is, unfortunately, that's the one thing about doing it on telly. Sometimes showing you like the black on the navy or the white on the white doesn't always come through, but you can certainly see how much you're getting. And if I wave this gently, you can see the white lines as it hits the studio lights there. Look at that. Oh, there we go. That works beautifully. Good Joe, popping in and out, changing the cameras. Look at that. But you can see that is just really, really pretty. Because I'm finding I'm doing a lot more white quilts at the moment and lighter quilts, because I went through a phase of doing really dark ones. So this is the perfect backing for things like that. And it also could be background. You know, we all look as, certainly for my foundation paper piecing, I use a lot of white on whites as well. And this is a gorgeous one. And if you spent a lot on your feature fabric, you want to make sure that you've got a really good white on white or a background fabric that's going to complement it and make it look even more fabulous. And will that show on there? Oh my goodness, we've got less than 5 meters left on the white. We've had more than ever of this product. They're back in stock today. And now there are less than 5 meters available, less than 10 units. Now remember, if you do want 2 or 3 meters of it, you multiply the half meter. But say you want 2 meters, you'll need to order 4 units. And don't hang around, only 5 meters left of that. And remember, if you haven't shopped with us before, or you have got this and it's in your basket, if you haven't checked out, unfortunately, somebody can come along who is certain they want it and take that out of your basket. I hate that, but it is just unfortunate. Until you've bought it, until you've actually bought it and checked out, unfortunately, the fabric's not yours. But don't worry, we've got our one-day P&P, so you can check out as many times as you like throughout the day. Look at this. This is such a lovely pink. It's like a raspberry pink. It's really good. Oh, Susan. Susan's falling down on the job, bless her. And I'm going to rotate it that way. Hopefully that's going to work. Now, Susan, behave. That's why I call her Susan. See, not behaving at all. She's rotating towards us. So this is such a lovely soft pink. Look at that gorgeous raspberry line on it. It's absolutely divine. Really, really good, that. See, I've not seen this pink before, but gosh, isn't it just lovely? Really, really lovely, that one. So there's 280 centimetres in that, 108 inches for those who work in Imperial, and that's half a metre of fabric for $8.99. And I am getting better at my folding, but just think of that fabulous deal that you're getting there. Such a huge amount of fabric there. And I keep forgetting, I'm going to show you a close-up of it there. Look how it's popping there. So if you're looking for backing fabric for a quilt, the easiest way of doing it is to measure your front. So let's say, for example, your front is, let's say it's 100 inches by 100 inches. I know, it's massive, but it's actually the size of a queen-size bed, which most of us have. So if you're getting it long-armed, or if you're quilting it on your machine, you need 3 or 4 inches around all the sides in order to make sure that you quilt it really comfortably and you're not having any issues with tension and things like that. So you'd need it to be at least 108 inches wide by 108 inches long. So if it was me, I'd be buying 120 inches, which I think is 4 meters. Is that 4 meters or 3 meters? Sorry, 3 meters. Because then you've got your binding. So you can do your binding then out of that, because it's such a huge length, you're only going to need 4 strips, which will be the 10 inches. So if you get 3 meters of any color, which is 6 units, you're pretty much covered for any quilt size. If it's bigger than 100 inches, then you might need to get a little bit more because you can sew panels on the side, but I've not seen many people doing bigger than 100-inch quilts anyway. But it's such a great product. 3 meters will cover you for a 100-inch quilt very comfortably, and you'll easily have 10 inches left at the end in order to do your binding. Oh, I've just heard now the white has sold out. Can't believe it, but there we go. White, I'm going to just put that over here because it's gone. Really, really great products, these, and you can see why they're selling out. Such great colours. Now, Susan, come on, work with me now. But this colour, doesn't it just look like a pool you want to dive into? Look at that. And you can see Susan's turning towards me again. Oh, I'm going to put that there. Hopefully I'm not tapping my... Look at that. Oh, it just feels like a little pool of water you want to dive into. It's really contemporary while still being slightly traditional as well. Because wasn't it Picasso or was it Matisse did something similar to this in these lines? It's very, very lovely. So that's in this, what are we calling this? Aqua. Aqua. Oh my goodness, we've now got less than 8 meters of this aqua. I am loving that. So if you want the aqua, don't let it hang around. Remember, you've got the 1-day P&P, so you can check out as much as you like throughout the day. That's our aqua color there. And you can see that. Gosh, look at those lines. So these are really, really good backing fabrics. We've had them in a few times and they always sell out. So please, if you are looking for them, make sure you get them in your basket now. 1-day P&P, so you can check out as many times as you like, and you only pay the 1-day postage and packaging. And the white has sold out. Now, I don't actually want to show you this one, but it is the cutest fabric I've ever seen, and I'm hoping that Hayley B, our marketing guru, is actually on air, because look at these. They are the cutest, sorry? Look at them. The most gorgeous little French bulldogs. Are they not just adorable? You could definitely EPP these very, very comfortably. Oh my goodness, I do. Now I want to buy it and do an EPP and have that little black one there who looks a little bit grumpy in the middle. And I want the little happy ones all on the side to make little flowers of these French bulldogs. Is that only $4.99 for a half meter? I've only just seen the price on that. That is really good. Are these 55-inch wide? I think they're 55-inch wide. I'm going to check on my gorgeous Millwood mat. They are, you know. Oh, no, they're more. It's 29. Gosh, so that's just under, it's 29.5, including the selvage. So it's a huge amount of fabric, that, for $4.99. 150 centimeters wide. Just look at their little faces. Oh, I love a puppy dog. So we had this on earlier in the week, so we don't have a huge amount of this fabric left. So this is the last of, gosh, is it the last ever? We might be able to order more in, but obviously where we are at the moment, we're not sure. Because Because you see, that's the problem with some of the fabrics. They come on just once. And then once you love them and fall in love with them and start a project, you can never get them again. Well, we're trying to bring you designs and designers that actually will be able to then come back and be able to do these again. Oh, I'm so loving them. Look at him. Look how grumpy he is. See, I think these as dressmaking or as... You see, I want to make this out of a shirt. Look at that with a little face of excitement. Look at that. Oh, love those. So I'm very pleased we've got those. If you do want them done. We only have 12 meters left of that fabric. So if you are interested, don't hang around. Don't forget again our one-day P&P. So if you check out multiple times during the day, doesn't matter, you only get the one P&P. Now we've got these gorgeous, gorgeous butterflies. Look at these. So are these as a bundle or individually? Individually. Look at these. Oh, I've never heard of that designer. Quilt. Oh, how do you pronounce that? OGT. It's OJU tie. These are gorgeous. Look at that. Also, again, another nice wide fabric. Do we know how wide this one is? Look at all those beautiful butterflies and flowers. Really, really good detailing. And what I love, if Joe doesn't mind switching to the overhead after this, I'm going to show you. So these are 145 centimeters wide, which is just over 55 inches. And it's woven cotton. It feels lovely. It really does. But you see, what I love about these, I'm going to get my pointy little stiletto that we had the other day, my favorite little pointy bit. What I love on these detailing is, can we go on the overhead and I just show these? Look at the flowers. Look how gorgeous these different flowers are with all the different colors in them. And I always think that's a really good quality on the fabric when you can actually see all the different colors there. Look at that tiny little pop of teal or green in there. And it just brings that whole flower to life completely. Because the good thing with that is you can match these up with different colours as well, doing them as, see that beautiful pink there, that sort of dusty pink. That would be really lovely as a sashing to be able to drag that all out. And again, $4.99 for a half metre. It's just such a great price and such great quality. Look at that. That beautiful tealy colour there. Unfortunately, the colours on the overhead are slightly different to what's on our camera next. When you saw it earlier looking head on, the colours there are spot on. It's just every now and then there's a slight hue change. So you can see, look at those gorgeous colours there. This is what the colouring is exactly on the fabric, just slightly our overhead has a bit of a moment when it looks at different colours. But this is the real one that we've got there. But when we're in our new studio, that'll all be right. Everybody's doing the very best they can at the moment, making sure that everything is just staying on air and doing all that and staying safe. But it's great. I wonder what all of you are sewing at home today. What have you got on your... You can maybe send us in a message. I folded that terribly. I'm going to switch that quickly. Send us a picture of what you're doing and how you're doing it. I saw a lady post on the fans page the other day, the most incredible Bargello I've ever seen. It looked amazing. Annoyingly, it wasn't mine. It wasn't mine, but it was beautiful. It was like a rainbowy colour on it as well. So we've got our Make of the Week competition as well on all of our social media that everybody, Vix, Debbie and I pick our favourite makes of the week. And then we decide who gets the Make of the Week. And then if you get chosen for Make of the Week, you get free P&P on your next order. Just look at this one. God, I hadn't noticed the dragonfly there. Look at this cute little dragonfly. I love it. This is the great thing with these fabrics. The more you look at them, the more detailing you see. Oh, it's just beautiful. And look at these leaves. And I know it seems silly, but it's just such a simple little whoop, whoop. It just works so well. Probably that's the worst description of it ever, but imagine these as little makeup bags or little bags for just storing little things and, you know, sort of fabric containers that you can have on your desk as well. It's just such a gorgeous colourway and you just feel so happy when you look at them. That's the grey colourway. That's again £4.99 for a ½ metre. And then we've got this beautiful, beautiful pink. Just look at that. Just. Oh, these as a Dresden would be beautiful. You could do all 3 colours. Or maybe do 2 colours on it. Or you could do 3 colours in a solid. Oh, I love it. Really cute fabrics, these. So that was the butterflies on rose. Again, ½ metre for £4.99. So my only bundle on the show today are the lovely swans. Oh. I do. I've got a swan bag that I carry around because I think it's important that we try and use as few carrier bags as we can. So I've got a lovely little fabric swan bag outside as well. But look at those. I did make that myself as well. Look at that. This collection is really, really unique, and I absolutely love this little metallic pop on these colours here. It's really good. This is as a bundle today. You're getting a ½ metre of each piece. But look at the metallic on that. You may have seen this before, but we are now on limited stock on these. And again, as we know with these fabrics, once it's gone, it's gone. We've got less than 10 of these left. But look how that gold just pops so beautifully on there. And that price for a metallic fabric. We've got this one in the orange. So the rest of these fabrics are all available in the bundle. I'm going to show you this one quickly because this is actually available by the ½ metre as well. So you'll need to just double check that on the website, but we have got this by the ½ metre as well. And if you look at how that gold pops on here as well, look at that gorgeous colourway there. It just works so beautifully. Because metallic fabric is so expensive usually, but look at that. So it's £27.96 for the 4 ½ metre bundles, failing which I'm not too sure how much this is per the ½ metre online. Oh, we're going to find out how much that is in a few minutes. We've just got, £6.99 for a ½ metre of this fabric on its own. This is the only one available on its own, so if you are looking for some of that, don't hang about, because these are definitely limited edition, limited stock now. But the metallic is so popular at the moment. It's very hard to show the metallic on the TV, so that's why you'll find I'm always wobbling the fabric around so you can see the movement of it. But even, there you go, you can see there, that just shows so beautifully. Can you imagine that as a cushion backing? That would work really, really well. See, for me, I'd use this as binding because I just love that metallic in it. It's just really, really fun. Oh, we've now got less than 10 of these available as the bundle collection. So if you are interested, don't hang around. Because if somebody does want it and you haven't bought it yet, unfortunately, they can take it out of your basket. And then the very last one in this bundle is this fabric here, these funds. Perfect. Oh, we've got polka dots next. I'm very excited. I love a good polka dot. Really lovely. So just the last little catch up with that bundle there. £27.96, ½ metre of all 4 fabrics. You can see that gold popping beautifully there. So we've got our lovely polka dots, but these are slightly larger polka dots than normal. I think these are, yep, 1/4 inch polka dots. So I think that's 7mm polka dots. So we've got the, what are we calling this? Teal, powder blue, sky. This is our Sky, green and lime. Look at that. Really great price for this. 1/2 metre of the cotton poplin, $4.99 for the sky polka dots. And these are slightly larger polka dots than normal. They are 7 millimetres, and it's 110 centimetres wide on that. So the usual quilting, for the quilting measurements of Imperial, about 42, 43 inches. Really lovely drape on it as well. It's really good. So that was our sky colourway. Shall we do the green next? Is that green? Oh, that lime is rich as well. Look at that. It's a bit like of an olive green, that one. Again, $4.99 for the green cotton poplin. You see, I'd call this olive. I wouldn't be calling that green. It's definitely more olive than it is green. Because I don't know about you, but green I think of really deep emerald green. It's very vintage tea party feel, that. Really lovely bunting. Oh, what a good idea for the bunting. Love that. So that's our green colourway there at $4.99. And then we've got this vivid, beautiful lime. Look at that. Now this I would call green. Look at that gorgeous lime there. This is very bright and colourful there. This for kids, it's just got kids written all over that. Can you imagine like a little kid's dress in this? It would be really good. So there we go, 1/2 metre of each of those at $4.99. Got the 3 different colourways there. Oh, running out of space. It's amazing, we pack the table perfectly when I start, but about halfway through the show I can't get everything on. So this one, should we do the butterflies first? We've got this butterfly, it's called Multicoloured Butterflies on white fabric. And it's huge. Look at that, doesn't that just look like... See, this is a backing for a quilt would be fun. Look at that. $4.99 for that fabric price is so good. But you see as well, for a lining of a bag, how much? So it's 145 centimetres wide. But can you imagine this is a lining for a bag? Because you see, I don't use bags very often, but when I do, I can never find anything. So I need the lightest border possible. But then if you do a white or something, it just gets a bit grubby. But look at that. That is just so fun. Really good for dressmaking. Also for any form of bag. Can you imagine a little makeup bag in that as well? Little camisole maybe. $4.99 for a 1/2 metre. Gosh, we've got less than 12 metres left of that one. And is this one of those ones that if it disappears, it disappears? Right, so this is now only here for a flittering little season. So that is only available. We won't be able to get this back in again. So we've got less than 12 metres of that. So if you are interested, please don't let that go away. You always regret the fabric you leave behind. Ask me how I know. This one is gorgeous. Look at that. It's so fun. You've got these dots on white. They look like raindrops almost. But they're just so multicoloured and, oh, they're really fun. Oh, as a binding. That would be really good. So we've got less than 8 metres of this one as well. They're really good. The other thing this would look good as is, because obviously with me everything goes back to quilting, is sashing. When you're doing in between your blocks and things as well, that could go really well with your sashing. Oh, I love it. It's called Colourful Drops, designed by... oh, I can't read the rest there. It says designed by your Poppy. Not sure who Poppy is, but thank you. Did a wonderful job there. Less than 8 metres available of that. That's $4.99 for a 1/2 metre. Don't let it get away. So which one should we do next? Oh, we've done the swans. Do these? Oh, look at these. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. So this is the aqua version. What's this one called? These are huge. Look how huge this is. Assorted flower and leaves on aqua fabric, 1/2 meter. Just look at the detailing on that. That is really, really pretty. It's very vintage looking, isn't it? I want to say it looks a little bit like a very, very famous department store's fabric, but I can't possibly mention the name. You all know what I'm talking about. I know you know. But look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. Do you want to look at it on the overhead? Do a little quick look on the overhead. If it helps, I have it the right way around. But just look at that. So beautiful. It's just like painted. Really, really, really love that. And again, this is very wide as well. Is this 150 again? 145. Gorgeous, gorgeous colourway, that in the aqua. Really lovely. And that again, $4.99 for the 1/2 meter. Is this one that will come back maybe? Not sure. Not sure. Don't think so. But now this one is, what colourway are we calling this? But look how big it is. My arms are as wide as they can go. This is now assorted flowers and leaves on pink. 1/2 meter. You see, I always look at it, if I'm not comfortable in stretching, look, I've literally stretched as far as they'll go. Look how wide that is. It's gorgeous. $4.99 for a 1/2 meter of this. This is why I'm terrified one day they're going to ask me to hold the backing fabrics in my arms and I'm going to be like, no. That's why I've got Susan. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous colourway, this. Because you see, it's not really, I'd call this sort of a dusty pink. It's just so, so cute. I really like that. Now we're going to look at some of our exclusive panels. I'm very excited about these. Let me show you. Should we do the name tags? Let's do the labels. So, all of us now are staying in and sewing. Good on you. And we're all making really fabulous things at the minute. But what I absolutely hate sometimes, is we make all these amazing things, but you don't put a label in it. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who's made it. And it's just really important when you're making something with so much love that you've got a label on it, like a quilt or a dress or something. So look at this. We have made labels for you to be able to show all of your family and friends. And I'm on using one of these labels on how you've done it. So here you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Is that 27 labels? I'm counting it from the back. So, and look at those. So by my count, that's 27 labels at $7.99. You're looking at 30p a label. And you've got such a different variety of sizes and shapes. Look at those different triangles there as well. And if we're going to ask Joe to just go on the overhead here so you can see, and then I can double check the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can just see all the different colorways and all the different ways of doing it. So if you're wanting to put this in the collar of a dress or something, you can then either stitch your name on there or write it with a permanent marker. But look at these, they're just so clever. Really lovely vintage feel to it. Not strong, deep colours, they're just more of a subtle colour. We want your work to speak for yourselves, not the label to dominate it, which is why everybody's taken such care in doing them. And these you can easily embroider on your name and made with love for, and with your sewing machine. Otherwise, just an indelible marker will be able to make that work as well. So this is the pink colourway of the Ditzy Quilt labels. That's $7.99. I'm just going to double check the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I was right. So it works out to less than 30p per label there. And they're just such detailed quality. It's really great. And of course, I love my, my salvages. So you've got a really good selvage there, and then the little colour bar on the other side. Love a good selvage on that. So that was our pink colourway. We've also got the same thing in a blue. Sorry, I've got a little frog in my throat. 30 seconds. Sorry about that. Joe just asked me what my frog's name was. We're going to call him Jeremiah. And this is now our blue colourway on the same labels. $7.99 for the same style. Look how cute these are. So we're going to pop these on the overhead as well so you can see. And I'm going to get my lovely little stiletto pointery thingy. Look at these. So that one says handmade by. This one's made with love with the kisses. So you definitely don't want to use a vanishing pen. What you could possibly do is use one of the air drying pens and then press it like I did in my demo the other day, but it's an indelible there forever. So you can see stitch with love, so you can easily write your name in there or stitch them on with any form of pen or one of those Sharpies. You can get those really fine point Sharpies now as well. Handmade with love, stitched with love by, made with love. And then these were those triangular ones that you could maybe stitch this end into the label of a dress or something and then just have this little pointy bit coming down, which is very, very cute. And then that may be the back side of that if you wanted it to be. Maybe you can put the name of the person who you're giving it to and then who made it on that end. But then you've got these gorgeous ones here as well. So even if you didn't want to put your name on it, just having these made with loves work really well. And then these got lovely little handmade ones here. You could even do these, you know, most of us are trying to do things that are reusable. You could even write somebody's gift tag name on there, take the gift tag back, and next year give it back to them with the same gift tag. That's actually quite a good idea. And then you've got these slightly larger ones here, which I assume these would be for sort of quilts and things. But look at these. These are really clever as well. I love the detail of these little pair of scissors there. And the nice little kisses and hearts all the way up there. Oh, this one I love as well, because you've got the date. You can say when you made it and how well it's lasted out. So these are lovely. These are the blue hearts, Ditzy quilt labels, $7.99 for 27 different labels at 30p a label there. So all of these are on our website, so if you don't get them now, you can check them out on our website, www.sewingstreet.com. This is called In the Kitchen. I'm going to start with this green one. This is called Set 3 ZIUU. Just to make sure Joe's got the right graphics for you. Look at these! Look how huge this is. See, my arms don't go up any higher than that. These are exclusive to Sewing Street. I'm going to pop these on the table and hopefully position that right in the middle. There we go, so you can get all four of them in one screen. And I'm not sure if anybody has seen this before, but the level of design that's gone into this, if we can just very quickly zoom in on this one, and I flicked the fabric and threw my stiletto across the room. But you can see there are these are actually implements. So that's a spatula, that's a little fork, that's another little fork around the flower, around the little flower there. And I think it's that level of detail that's gone into designing these that just make it so much better. And of course I put this in upside down, obviously, just because I want you to look at it really in a peculiar way there. Sorry about that. And we've got these ones here as well. But they're just such clever compliments on how it's going. Now, that actually does go horizontally, at an angle. I've just put the fat quarter in a really weird way there. You can just see how huge this piece of fabric is. Look at that. So these are 55 inches wide, the two of them together. Oh, for crying out loud. 27.5 inches by 19.5 is each fat quarter. I'm doing really well with this folding nonsense now. So if we did that then again, you can see that the dots are actually at an angle going that way. So you can see the edge of your fat quarters there and the dots go at an angle. You won't get these anywhere else. These are exclusive to us. Exclusive to us. So that was number 3. Then we've got this is DFUU. So these are the same designs, just in a different colorway. This is in this gorgeous aqua color there, just to give you an idea of how much fabric you're getting as well. And then I'll flick these over and hopefully not knock anything else off the table. And you can see how gorgeous they all go together. It's that pop of yellow in everything that just works so well. Are we doing the overhead? Cool. You can see the detailing on that as well. And of course, I've folded this now, so it's going to be really easy to try and do this. This yellow and blue works so well. And again, here you can see the detailing on these little spoons and whisks and spatulas and things. They just work so, so well. So you can see that little whisk there, the slotted spoon, I call it a liftery thingy, an egg lifter thing, and then a pointy stabby thing for your Christmas dinners. Pointy stabby thing. And then you've got our lovely polka dots there as well. And then our lovely rectangles as well. It just works so, so well together. Really, really lovely combination there. But tea cozies, and even I made a whole, I made oven mitts a couple of months ago, and they're gorgeous. I love them. And then we've got the last little fat quarter bundle from this. And then this is in our red, green, yellow and blue colour combination. Each of these fat quarters are 27.5 inches by 19.5. And you can just see how much you're getting on all of those. $14.99 for this bundle. This is panel number 1. So you've seen panels 1, 2 and 3 there. So they work out at £3.75 a fat quarter. But remember, our size of our fat quarters are 27.5 inches by 19.5, where the majority of fat quarters are normally around about 20 by 21 by about 18 inches. So you're getting a lot more fabric for your money on that. All 100% cotton as well. And exclusive to Sewing Street. You won't get these anywhere else. So we just want to give you a bit of a stock update on our squiggle fabric. And oh, we've got a question as well. Who's it from? Maureen. Morning, Maureen. She's making a jelly roll race quilt, yes. Oh, wanting to use the wide squiggle back fabric, wanting to know how much she would use. Now, I'm going to use my phone for this, simply because that's quite a technical question, and hopefully I'm going to be able to access my phone while I'm doing this. So that is 108 inches by 20. It would depend how big you wanted your quilt to be. So a normal jelly roll, with the design roll race that we did, we had 48 by 2.5. We had 120 inches that way. We had 48 by 55. With the jelly roll race, are you wanting to do different colours? Because if you're going to do the jelly roll race, oh, you mean the backing? Sorry. You'd probably need, because it was 64 by 84. So you'd probably need 2 meters. No, the reason being, I'm just working this out because if we did 1.5 meters, that is 60 inches, which will be too small, whereas 80 inches is 2 meters, yes, 80 inches, because you'd be able to fit the 80-inch length that way, and then your width would come in on the thing then. So yes, you'd need 2 meters of the 108 backing. So we've sold out of the white, even that little piece is sold out. So what we've got left now, we've got the aqua, how much? 4 meters. Wow. So these you'll need to just pop onto the website to get the details on it. So this is your aqua colour. We've got less than 4 meters of that available now. 2.8 meters, sorry, 2.8 meters wide, 108 inches, less than 4 meters of that one left. With the, gosh, we've got 8 meters of the pink left. So just double check the website for the code, but that's 8 meters of that one left. The navy, we've got 5 meters left, and you can't really see the dark line on that, but that's the navy. And the natural, we've got about 15 meters left of that one as well. So that is at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. Hopefully these are going to, the white one's already sold out, so if you are interested in them, please don't hang around because they do go quite quickly. If it's in your basket and you haven't checked out yet, and please make sure you check out, we don't want you to lose fabric that you really, really want. And yeah, that was a lovely show, lots of stuff. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be back in a few minutes. We've got 2 Creative Grid demonstrations for their gorgeous rulers, and we got a Kaleidoscope stacky wacky. So pop back in a few minutes. We're just going to change the setup. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you, and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page, and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those 3 and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying 1 postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Good morning, I'm John Cole Morgan and welcome back to Sewing Street. Lovely to have you here. We are doing one of my favourite things today. We're doing kaleidoscopes and stack and wax. Really, really excited about these. So Stack and Wax came into my life probably about 2 years ago. One of my friends, Angie, brought one of her quilts that she'd made into our little weekly meeting that we have, and I have never drooled over anything quite so much in my entire life, and it was so extraordinary to see how a piece of fabric changes just because you cut it up and sew it in a different way. So I am absolutely addicted to it, and probably about 60%, 70% of the fabric that I now buy is for Stack and Wax because it's just such an addictive process. So I'm really excited to bring that to you today. But the people at Creative Grids have made the perfect rulers to do this in. And here is one of them, the 60-degree triangle ruler, which will be able to give you your hexagon Stack and Whack in the different colorways and things like that. And what's really great about doing these smaller projects is, if you haven't actually been very confident in using your quilting techniques and things like that, great way to test them on a smaller piece like that. And this is made from this little ruler here. And I've made it in another colorway as well, and you can just see how it changes ever so slightly. So it just changes ever so slightly with the fabric. But the effect is so effective. And it really does go on forever because you can do, all you do is just move your ruler down ever so slightly and you get a totally different block. And that is all made by this gorgeous Creative Grids 60-degree triangular ruler, available today for $20.99. It's going to come with a wonderful set of instructions in here as well. And that'll give you different designs and ideas on how to do it. But I don't need to show you the thing for that because I've got all the samples made up. So today what I did was I have used various bundles. The first one that I've used is our fantastic toucans. And I know most of you will look at this and go, not really fond of that. Look at how wonderfully it turns out. This is now a bundle that we're doing. It's a meter of the toucan fabric. Oh, I've got that upside down. 2 seconds while I hold that round. So I'll show you what the full meter looks like now. And they're really good fun. So that's the meter of fabric there. And these are now pre-cut in the bundle. So if you bought 2 bundles, you're going to get 2 pieces cut at 1 meter. So that's just the bundles are already cut that way. So you can see there, these are the gorgeous toucans. Really simple, not really a big repeat. It's a nice small repeat. And I'll show you how that all works in a minute. So that's our toucans. And then of course, when we got our toucans, we wanted to make sure that we had a nice coordinating fabric that went with it. Yours will be folded a lot better than that. I'm not even going to try anymore. So we've now got a lovely piece of our emerald green fabric here. Also a meter of that. But you can see how beautifully that goes together. It just pops so perfectly together there. Really great green, emerald green there. And our toucans. But that was not the only one that we've done. We've also got our fabulous chickens. Got to have some chickens in your kitchen. So again, you get a meter of this. I'm just going to show you a portion of it. Actually, no, let me open it up and I can show you. So that's ½ a meter, and I'll show you it now. But look at those chickens, aren't they cute? Really fun. And I'll just show you now the big piece, the meter piece of what you'll be getting. And that's our chicken fabric there. And then when we match these for a colour, we chose this lovely blue. What have we called this blue? Is it Copen? Copen. So I think the Copen and the emerald you can also buy by the ½ meter. So do check the website for that. And then this is our meter of Copen fabric. There we go. So you can just see how beautiful that colourway is. It's just such a rich colour. And you'll see that it works very well with our toucan as well. So the wonderful Vicky Carroll was on a couple of days ago, or about a week ago maybe, with her samples of our gorgeous 60-degree ruler. And these, I feel bad because I've taken all of her samples from the sample room upstairs. But I think it's really lovely to be able to see the different techniques you can do with them. So that is using the ruler. I think that's to the fullest extent. I'm just going to double check. No, it's not. So this was a 7 3/4 ruler. Sorry, she cut these as 8 inches. So you can still make it another ½ inch bigger than that. So that is what she made with that one there. But she's done some fabulous demo pieces on this. I thought I'd taken these all out the bag, but sorry, I haven't. Look at that! All from the same ruler. She is so good. Look at that. So that's another one of our... so when you're doing these, I'm not sure we can... Joe, would that fit on the overhead? Poor Joe's running around changing cameras and then I'm asking questions. So in order to do, you can see how, you can just see how they slot in. Here you'd need to do a Y seam. There are clever ways of doing it, and what you do is you do that stripe first, that stripe second, and then you don't have to do the Y seams on it. But that takes a lot of organisation and a really big amount of floor or bed or wherever to lay everything out to do it. So if you want to see Vicky's demo on it, that was the 15th of April at 10 o'clock. And that's the great thing about our YouTube channel, is because now you can go and watch the fabulous Vicky demo this a lot better than I probably will, because she's so good. But go and have a look at that, and you can see that's on the 15th at 10 o'clock. But this, I just adore this little piece. Look at that with these tiny little triangles on the end. She's done really, really well with that. Really, really lovely. And Vicky's not a quilter. She just looked at the, you've got a what do you call this, a QR code on there as well. And if you scan that little QR code, it goes to a demonstration video from the people from Creative Grids as well. So you'll easily be able to go and have a check and see what you're doing there. And even if you just want to have a triangle with some background colours, that is a really great way of doing it. So Vicky, thank you very much. I've stolen your pieces, really appreciate it. But what I wanted to do as well, because there have been some requests online about how you do a stack and whack. So first of all, let me explain what a stack and whack is. So a stack and whack is literally, you take, so we're doing a 60-degree triangle here. So you're going to take 6 pieces of fabric, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those 6 pieces of fabric, just grabbing that. So those 6 pieces of fabric will then be sewn together like that. Now the size of your fabric, the size of your triangles depends on what's known as the repeat in your fabric. So I'm going to go back a little bit here. And so for people who haven't heard this before or haven't seen it, where's my little pointy thing? I'm going to show you now, in case some people don't know, what a pattern repeat is. So Joe, could we go onto the overhead? And if you just put it perfect, so don't move that right. So you can see over here, we've got a chicken. Now I know that sounds really silly, but bear with me, bear with me. So that chicken is the same as that chicken. If we zoom in a little bit, Joe, can we do that? Because we can just see the difference there. Because it's really important that there we go. Perfect, don't go more. So you can see that chicken there is that chicken there. And the reason we know that is that chicken there is the same as that chicken there. So you can see we've now got what's known as a pattern repeat between there and there, which means that those are exactly the same all the way along. So if we're wanting to do our repeats and get 6 of these, what you do is you cut your first strip. So I always say, make your life easy and find a point where the chickens are, where you can line something up. Before we can get to this point, you're going to get your fabric like this. Okay, you're going to fold it, selvage to selvage, selvage to selvage, and you're going to cut it in half, okay? So you're only going to use, sorry, I'm doing this the wrong way around, selvage to selvage, like that. So your selvages, or both your selvages, are on this side, and you're going to cut a line on this side. So you've got half your fabric, because you can't cut more than that, and you're going to end up with 2 pieces of fabric. This is the spare piece that I've got. So that's the spare piece that I've got left over, which I will then use for another stack and whack project later on. And you'll see in the chickens as well, I've got 2 pieces. So I've only used 1 piece to do this. Then what I do is I draw my first line, and you will see that my first line was over there. So if I put that there, you can now see that when I'm cutting my next line, it's going to go across. If I pull that out, it's going to go across here. That's your next line. And then once I've cut that, I'll move my ruler down again. And then what you'll find again is if you pop that in there again, you can see that this bit of the chicken lines up again. You're at the perfect point, put your ruler, and you cut along until you've got 6 pieces like that. Now, when you've got 6 pieces like that, now I'm going to show you this later on in the show, but this is without question one of the best things to use for this, because you don't have to use a needle and thread. This is a fabulous product which will really make this process a lot easier for you. But that's coming up at 10 o'clock, so I'm just going to show you how it works, and I'll talk to you about the product later. So this is now your 6 layers of fabric. Now, I've already done some of this. So what you're going to do is, with this, what's really handy about this product is, it's brand new today. At 10 o'clock you'll be able to see it. So what you're doing when you're looking to put these strips together, you need to make sure, as you can see on the edge of the fabric there, they're all in the exact same place. It's really important that you get them that way. So the way I've done it is I've used a needle and thread, and I've just tacked every sort of 2-3 inches along the way to make sure that everything is lined up. This is going to make your life a lot easier, because what you do is you pick a point on the fabric that is very, very obvious. So over here, can we go to the overhead, Joe? Let me just get that positioned. Thank you, Joe. So, oh, right. So you can see the end of that chicken's foot over there, I'm going to use as my sort of focus point to put that through. So exactly the same as you would be using a needle and thread, you would put that through there, and then at the same point there, you're putting that at the end of the chicken's foot. And that's 2 layers of fabric. And then you do that for your 3rd layer of fabric, and you push that on. And then you take your 4th layer of fabric and you pin it onto the exact same point on your 4th layer of fabric, and then again you're doing on the 5th layer of fabric, end of the foot, 5th layer of fabric, and then the 6th layer of fabric. And the great thing with this tool is it's so sharp. These needles, you can buy spare needles, and then once you've got that through, you do that, and it's all stuck together, and it won't move around. And you just go along the way, and using this tool, it is the easiest way of being able to do a stack and whack, because you literally just stab through it there. You haven't got because it does take the longest time, putting these through, stitching it, putting that through, doing your thread, it takes ages. The tool is already on the website if you are looking for it. It's called a micro stitch. So have a check that out on the website. It's a really great product, that. Make sure you stick your little pointy bit on the end, because I've stabbed myself with it already today. So once you've got that, you've now put all these little tacky bits in, whether you're using a needle and thread or whether you're using the micro stitch. Then what you do is you take your ruler. So when I was looking earlier, you were we were asking probably how wide does that be, or how big is that going to be? It literally just depends on the length of your fabric. So this one is working out at just under 4 inches for the repeat of the fabric. So what you would do then is you're going to see this is, I think it's about 3, just under, it's a bit less than, it's about, I want to call that 15/16 if I want to be really particular. But there we go. So you line your ruler up. This bit I've already cut, so I know that that line is straight. You've got a nice flat end here, which is lined up to the fabric. So I hold that down, and I just cut my next piece along there. Okay? But what's great about these Creative Grid rulers again is you can see it's got these non-slip bits on here as well, which are really, really handy. It makes your life a lot easier. And the good thing is having micro-stitched these all together or tacked them together, however you do them, your fabric is quite stable. You don't need to worry about it moving too much. But you see, the great thing is you're already having fun, you're already doing different things, and you're cutting the chickens into pieces. Now, over here you'll see I've just, my blade moved a little bit off the ruler as I was going. So just make sure you neaten that up, otherwise you're going to have a bit of a bulky, that tiny little bit of fabric there will give you a little bit of a bulky blade, which you don't want. Now, I never waste anything on these stack and wax. So over here, you've got an interesting little bit here. So you can see I don't have enough to do a full triangle there. So what I do is I keep my triangle down, keep it down, keep it down, and I'm keeping this lined up with this side here. And I'm going to get the biggest one I can possibly get out, which will be 2 3/4. Line that up there. Something's gone a bit awry. I'm actually going to cut it at 2 1/2. And then all you do then and you can still cut another one out of that if you want to. I've taken these down to 1 inch before, because you literally you'll be able to use each and every piece. And then if you want to see how they work, so you can see that's how they would come out when you sew them together. You weren't expecting that, were you? So it's just that the fabric is what is so important when you're doing these projects. You've got to make sure that your fabric is... And the difficult thing with this is you don't know what it's going to look like until you actually have it cut out. But there is a really good rule of thumb on whether the fabric is going to work or not. And that is, if you've got a lot of interesting features on your fabric, like let's say for example this toucan fabric, look at all the interesting features. So if I take my little ruler and I pop that on, I can tell, so if I do it over here for example, I'll move this up, there we go, thank you Joe. If I cut 6 triangles out of that, all I'm going to have is flowers. But if I cut 6 triangles out of that, all I'm going to have is a toucan and 2 flowers. So you can go along and just have a bit of an interesting look at how you do it. And some of them will be absolutely amazing, and some of them will be a little bit bland because you haven't got interesting pieces in each piece of fabric that you've got. So I'll just show you some of the examples that I've got here out of the toucan fabric. Oh, wrong way around. So you can see those are a bit more different. And you can see that they work so well. So there I've got no toucans at all, other than the odd little beak all the way along. And there I've got a bit more of a toucan face. And there I've got a bit more of a toucan there as well. But they're all so different in how they come out. So that one I think is the most key one. And what is so interesting is you wouldn't have thought that that leaf would have made a secondary pattern in doing that. And these flowers, you thought they'd make a secondary pattern, but you may not have noticed that there was that little yellow flower behind it. So that's why we've bundled these together, to make sure that you can then get a different take on how you do these and how you're going to go across with them all. And the thing is, if you don't want to make, because you can make small little placemats and things like this, you're going to get, I think it's 7 of these blocks out of 1 strip of 6 repeats, and I had this much left over. Is it this one? Yes, I had this much left over as well. So you've got loads of fabric left over at the end as well, because this you may want to put, because I thought placemats work really well. We can always use placemats. They're fun, they're interesting, and the good thing is they're a smaller project for you to use as well. But that way then you're going to have 6 or 7 designs for the middle of your placemat. So if one of them is a bit boring and you don't love it, you can put it to one side and you haven't wasted any fabric. Oh, we have a stock warning on the ruler. We only have 10 left of this ruler. I'm not surprised. It's a fantastic ruler. Really, really, really good on that. So then you're going to sew them all together. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find my little collection of toucans that I was going to sew together. Of course, I'll find them the second we go off air. Where have they gone? Right, so I'll show you how we'll just do... I'm going to have to do them with a chicken. Right, so, and having used those micro stitch, so using the micro stitch, all you do is you just pull on one end and the micro stitch comes off completely. I wonder if I should do these small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, where's my sixth one? Yes, and when I say pull the micro stitch, I mean you're just gently pulling the fabric, the stitch out. You're not damaging your fabric in any way. Oh, come on. What have I done? I'm using the fabulous 550 at the moment. Just didn't have enough in the bobbin there, so I just had to wind a little bit of a bobbin in. Right, so what you're doing then is you've got your 6 pieces all ready to go. And you're going to sew these into groups of 3. So I'm going to sew 2 together first. And when you're doing that, you're putting the flat edge together, that little flat edge together, which is a mark on the ruler, and you're stitching a 1/4 inch seam all the way down the side of that. Oh, come on. You're going to forgive me because that's a little bit more than 1/4 inch there. Apologies about that. We had a question earlier about our block of the week, so if anybody is looking for it, we've just confirmed they are available online for you. This we are now going to use the ironing board. This is an old ironing board. Oh, no, the iron's not on, so I'm going to use my fingers. The little roll press tool is perfect for this little project as well because it's something quite small. And again, you're marking your flat end up towards the top. You're lining those up nicely there. You see, this is such fun and it's such a small project, especially if somebody wants to try a stack and whack for the first time that you've not done before. It's such a great price and it's a really lovely product. The ruler is always going to put you in good stead. You will always use the ruler again. So it's just a nice, fun way of getting involved and trying something new. Because we've all got the time at the moment where we're trying to do new things and maybe we've used up a little bit of our stash that we've been wanting to use for ages. But now you can just do something a bit different. Having not pressed this as well as I normally would have, it might not be as accurate as it normally would be, but you'll still get the same effect as to how these work out. And the great thing is you can do, when you get into this, you'll be able to get fabrics that are much wider pattern repeat, because I think the biggest one I've ever done was a 28-inch pattern repeat. That's a lot of fabric because obviously you've got to have 6 or 8 repeats of them. And my tip is don't look at it until it's finished, until you've pressed it down nice and flat. And I'm going to use the very ruler I'm using to press that nice and flat. You ready? Look how different that is. And you were not expecting it to be like that at all. It's just so effective. And you can see the effect on top of the other ones on how well they work together. So that is our lovely 60-degree stack and whack, very rushed tutorial of stack and whack and how it all works. And please send your photos in if you do take part in it. We'd love to see what you're doing because the ruler definitely will help it. It will make your life a lot easier on this process. So now we have, we are limited on that ruler. So if you haven't got the ruler and you want it, don't hang around. And then, how are our early birds going? Anybody who hasn't seen our early bird this morning, this was it. We had a price comparison up with a company earlier on, which is we were £4 cheaper in our early bird than they were, and they'd sold out. So they didn't even have any stock left of it. So that is a really great product there. For $14.99, you get a tape measure, and you've got the 10 different colours of Gutermann threads there for $14.99. Wow, we have less than 15 of these available. So each one of these we worked out per piece was coming in at about £1.37 a piece. Is that right? For 11 pieces. But the tape measure alone is about £3.50. And these, when you buy them on their own, you're normally paying about £1.90 each. So you're saving a huge amount of money on this. There are not that many left. If you are interested and you have got it in your basket, don't hang around, because if you haven't paid for it, unfortunately, it's not yours. If you haven't checked it out with it yet, it's not yours. So now we have this fabulous Hexi tool. And I'm just going to open this up so I can finish this off. But I absolutely love these creator grids because they are designed by quilters to do different rulers. This one's created by a lady called, I hope it's a lady, Jean Ann Wright. If I got that wrong, sorry, nothing personal. And look, these are the instructions that you get with it. They are fantastic. You get all these different designs, different ways that you can do it, and it shows you the different measurements you need to cut it at as well. So this is the ruler you're going to get. These are the instructions you're going to get. But they are so thorough because it shows you exactly how to cut the hexagon out, whether it's that size or that size, that size or that size. So you can see you get 3 different size hexagons on that. And then on the inside, it shows you exactly how to cut each and every one of them out to get the different layers and how you do it. Even if you just want the setting triangles and the setting diamonds, setting half hexes, you've got those there. And then you can see the setting triangles there as well. So these are the 3 main blocks that you can make out of them. So I'll leave those there and show you. That was number 1, that was number 2. So you can see I've tried to do one of each of these blocks. I cut first of all, I was a bit lazy and wanted to do the whole one there as well. Then I got that one, and then you're using a slightly bigger a bigger hexagon, and then you can use a bigger hexagon there. And in different colorways. I thought it would be quite nice to just try it in all different colorways. So I'm laying it out that way, or you can rotate them and put them in like that. But it is precision, well, it isn't even, you don't need to be precise with this because it's all done for you in the ruler. And then if you've got the edge of your quilt and you're wanting a setting triangle to have a straight edge, there it is. So the colorways that I've chosen here are just plains. I thought it just showed beautifully on how easy it is to work with these plain colors. So we've got 2 different color bundles here for you. This is the colorway that I've done the samples in, which is orange, light grey, dark grey, and a black. They're ½ metre of each for £13.96. It does say log cabin bundle on the top. Not quite sure why, but this is the bundle that I've used over here. You can see it's got all the colours on there. And then we've got our second colourway bundle, which is the same, the black, dark grey and the light grey, but instead of the orange, we've got this lovely pink in there as well. Again, this isn't a log cabin bundle. What we've done is we're just using these for our Hexis. We previously showed them on with log cabins. That's possibly why that's come up. But that then is half a metre of each of these colours for £13.96. Now, even if you don't want to do this project, at £13.96 for 2 metres of fabric, half a metre of each colourway, even if you're just doing it for your stash busting, you would definitely be losing out by not taking that one in. So now I'm going to just show you very quickly how you make this block. It's really, really simple. The first thing is you're going to cut out a hexagon, whatever size hexagon you want. So I used a little one, and then you're going to sew onto 3 sides. So the first Hexi, I'll show you how I cut that out. So you can see it's even got the measurements on it. So you cut 2 sides, rotate your ruler, cut 2 sides, rotate your ruler, cut 2 sides. Then all you're doing is you're taking 3 pieces of fabric, and this is actually in the design for you. This is round 1. So you're cutting, I think these are, so these fabrics are 1 3/4 inch width. And these are 2 inches long. No, that doesn't look right. Oh, no, that's for the first round, sorry. So all I'm doing here is I've taken the width of my hexagon there, and I've just got a piece of white. And what I'm doing is I'm then just sewing a 1/4 inch seam down the side. And a 1/4 inch down this side. Of course my needle just unthreaded. Come on, you. It's only live telly. What could possibly go wrong? Come on. Oh. Right, there we go. So I've done that one. That was the longest lead thread in the history of sewing. So I've done it on 2 sides. Now I'm going to do it on the 3rd side. Right, so get rid of my threads. And then I just press these open. And then the easiest thing in the world, once these are all pressed down, you just take the ruler and you put that there like that. You line your black line up with that one there and the ruler there, and you trim your edges off. And then you repeat the same process. I line that up with that seam there. I line that up with the edge of the fabric there. I'm just going to move it down one so that I can get it all across. And just follow the instructions. It's all in the panel. And then you just trim that off. And then you can see that that is there. And then you just start putting things up. You can just start sewing around it as you go along. So I'm going to put grey on that section, grey on that section, and grey on that section. And then just for a hint of colour, I'm going to put an orange there, an orange there, and an orange there. So that's the kind of plan of where we are now. And bar anything going wrong with the sewing machine, that is my plan. There we go. It's because I didn't introduce myself and stroke the little machine saying good morning. I do think if you talk to your sewing machine, it works a lot better, doesn't it? And I have to say, any ruler that I get given to test, I find if it's a really, really good ruler, I don't even notice how long I've been doing it. I literally just sew and cut and sew and cut. And before I knew it, I'd run out of fabric. I had used the entire bundle of fabric to make all these little hexagons out because it is just such a lovely ruler to use. And it works so, so well. So there we go, we've lined all that up nicely now. And now you can leave this fabric on if you want, or you can trim that down. I'm going to trim it. So you're just going up along the it's very clever the way they've done it. You're just kind of moving along as you go. And again, these are all on the instruction panels. And if not, there's another instruction video as well. I think I did a much more detailed demo on this. Do you know what day that was? I know it was, oh, I can't remember. Feels like so long ago. And then I'm just putting the orange one on. So I did this one on the 9th of April at 10 a.m. So if you want to go back and check on a previous show on what my demo was there, you'll easily be able to then drop onto our YouTube page and see it from there. Which is what's so great about our YouTube page, is that anything we've ever demoed or had on the show is available for you to watch at another time. Right, so stock warning everybody, if you have got the triangular ruler, this one, in your basket at the moment, there's only one left. So if you want it and it's in your basket and you haven't checked out yet, there is only one left. So if you want it, we are about to sell out. So please, if it's in your basket, make sure you check out. We will be able to get more in, but obviously with the delivery times of where we are at the moment, things may take a little longer than usual. So you can have it now and you don't have to wait. But yeah, just to let you know, there's only one left of them. I'm not surprised, it's such a great ruler. Gosh, and the toucan bundle, there are less than 10 of those available as well. We're doing really well this morning. I'm not surprised though, that toucan fabric is so interesting and so different. So we've restocked our hexagon ruler as well, because I think we sold out of that the last time, didn't we? So we've restocked that. We've restocked the hexagon ones, so we finally got those back in. So you can see you're literally just going around, doing the different things per the instructions, and you just keep adding layers onto it. And you can see you can do all these different colours and different ways of doing it. So that was one that I did earlier with a bigger hexagon in the middle. And going back to find a smaller one. Where are you? You're hiding. So you can see that's the smaller one there, which worked there. And you can just see all you're going to do is you're going to add on the different layers as you go out. But again, whatever fabric you use, you'll end up with something totally different. You'll see on the, what date was it in April? I did it the 9th. On the 9th of April, you'll see that I even used a Liberty fabric at that one. Obviously, we've now sold out of that Liberty, but we've used a different product there. And you'll be able to see just how different they look on each and every fabric that you use, which is great. And it's a lovely tool just to play with and to enjoy and have fun with. And you've got your Creative Grid technology here at the back, where you've got the nice little sandpapery bits. I don't know what the word is for that, but I call them sandpapery bits, because you can see there, as I'm trying to find the light there, you can see. But so what's so unique about these Creative Grids is that this is what the normal ruler feels like, with the soft slipey edge there. And you can do that, you can move that very, very easily. But with the Creative Grids technology here, where you can see you've got these raised edges, if I do that, it doesn't move anywhere near as much as it does. Now, when you're looking through this fabric, through this ruler, you will notice, if I can find my tiny little holes, you can see these tiny little holes. So if you stop there, Joe, perfect. You can see that tiny little hole there. So, and I can show you just by popping that round. There's a little hole there. What that's for is when you're lining everything up, that is meant to be the point of your triangle so that you make sure you hit your point. So over here, you'll see I did not hit my point. So when I trimmed my hexagon up, I didn't realize that that was to be able to make sure you kept your point. So where have I put it? So on this one, you can see my points are completely and utterly accurate. That's because I'd realized I'd missed my point when I'd cut it off. And that's what these dots are for, to make sure that you keep your seam allowances in place. And you've got them at each and every individual stage as you go. And you can mark it up as well by using a pencil or a pen through there. And then, of course, it's also, every Creative Grids has the little hanging tool thing where you've got the little thing that you can hang it up with. So it's got that one as well, because everybody keeps their rulers differently. That's the nice little hanging up option on it as well. So, no, it's fine. I'm really excited because I've just been told to bring this little thing forward a bit. Well, we weren't supposed to be selling this now, but I knew what would happen. The second I used it, people would be able to then go, oh, actually, I want that, because it's brand new to Sewing Street today. And what's so good, let me show you, sorry, I wasn't quite ready for that now. So this micro stitch tool that you've got, if you want to do any form of quilting or bag making or anything, and you just want to hold your fabric together nice and loosely, but still firm, without putting loads of holes through it or doing it by hand or base spraying or anything, this is a fantastic product to use. So here what I've got is what we'd call our quilt top, we've got our wadding, and we've got our quilt backing. And I have started to base the quilts, because normally what you do is you'd have your glue down, you'd be on the floor, bending over, putting the stitches in. But this, you can see I pop you can see my little sharp needle coming through just there. And then once the needle's through, I just fire off, and this little tiny little, I don't know what we call them. It's like when you buy clothes in a shop, you've got that little piece of plastic that's holding the label on. These are those on a tiny level. You can see just how small they are, but it's exactly the same technology as what you would use for clothing. And you just shove that through there, fire it, and it's done. So you can baste a quilt as far apart or as closely as you like, and it saves you so much time. Well, you saw already on the when I was doing the stack and whack for the repeats, it's so accurate because you've got that really sharp point on it. If you do want to go through and get a chicken's beak all the way through, you just line that up there, slide it through, and you can see you're at the edge of the chicken's beak. And if you're then wanting to find the next one, it's so easy to just line them all up and press it through and then fire the little, I want to say fire the gun, but it's so tiny, it's not. I will say that this is a little sharp blade on the end there for your needle, so make sure you keep your cover on that as well. Are we going to do the additions with it? Because what's really good with this is not only have we bought you this, because we've got a little box for it as well. Joe's getting it for me. Poor man's running around like anything today. Thank you, Joe. It's because they're selling out so well already. So what happens is you get this gun with the box. So this is I think we've got micro stitch as one word on the graphics there. Please forgive us, the lovely people at Micro Stitch. Wasn't intentional. So you get this lovely little gun. I'm just going to move that out the way and that out the way. So you're getting this lovely little green gun and the cover for the blade, and then we've already preloaded some of these in, and then you're getting this box that comes with it, and you're getting all of these different micro stitch cartridges, for the want of a better word, and you're getting 4 different cartridges onto each one. I'm not going to attempt to count those. I'm just looking how many there are. I love the fact I've got Joe in my ear saying, come on, count them. Oh, there we go. So all of these included, there are 8 of them, 4 white and 4 black. All of them included is 1,080 micro fasteners. So that's a huge amount. So if we want to do 1080 divided by 8, how much is that? Go on. It's going to be 212. No. Yes. 135, sorry. So it's 135 on each of these. Gosh, it does look like a lot. So it's 1,080 of those fires with that. You've got the blade in there as well, the needle, but as an additional thing we've got today as well, you've got 4 different blades here. Are they all the same size? Perfect, so they're all the same size. So all that would happen is you would use this, you would change the blade. I'm not sure how you change those, but anyway, the instructions are in there. And we've got the 4 different blades there as well. And these are an additional package needle replacement blades. So you've got the 4 blades there, and that's going to be $22.99. So you've got the, if you buy the tool, getting the blades, because sometimes, you know, it doesn't matter what you're using, whether it's a blade for your rotary cutter or anything, you need to replace them every now and then. Sewing machine needles and 1,080 micro stitch tack things, they, you know, that's a lot of stabbing through fabric and things. So you will probably need the odd blade and things like that. Oh, I'm just seeing as well, this isn't just for quilting either. This is for everything. Oh, you've got, oh, to fix fallen hems. That's very clever. Basting quilts, fixing fallen hems for frames in a keepsake. That's actually really cute. And decorative crafts as well. So it's not just for quilting. You've got draping of hems, tailoring of garments, tacking for a plique. That's very clever. I'm definitely going to do it for that. So it's a really nice little product that you've got the gun, you've got the refill blades here as well. But not only have we got the blades, we've also got 1,200 of the micro stitch in black. Do you want black or grey? Black first. And those are $4.99. So, and that's 1,200 of them. So if you bought the gun and a pack of that, that's 2,280. That's a lot of tacking. You won't be needing that for a while. But really, really great product. So we've also got it in the white as well. And that one is 1,200 as well. That's in the white. And it's really, really simple to use. You can't actually put the tacks in incorrectly. There's either a wide end, what they're calling a long end or a short end. And you can only put it in one way. It's nice and simple to do. Easy slot in. Shall I do it? Oh my goodness, we've got less than 20 left now. So you can see when you're doing it, you literally, when you're loading it, you can only put it in one way because it's where the round bit in there goes in the round bit there. And you just slot that down. And once it's in, you push that all the way down, it'll go, and then you rotate that round. And that's in now. You can see it's not, oh, it does come out. Oh. I'm going to test I've done it right. Oh, I hadn't pushed it. Oh, there we go. I hadn't pushed it all the way in. There we go. I heard a little click. That's it now. Woohoo! Of course, I've broken it now. Oh, I'd over pushed it. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Microstitch. There we go. I had one caught when I pushed it down too far. And you can see, even there, it was so easy to just get that one little... There we go. Nope. What am I doing? I think I've rotated the right thing incorrectly. See, what it is because we've started selling this on the website, I wanted you to be able to see it, and I was going to practice this in the hour to get it right, and now I've killed it. Oh, done it. Sorted. There we go. And now I've broken it again. Oh my gosh, I really have. Don't do that at home. Read the instructions before you use it. And it is really easy. You saw me using it earlier. All it is because I pulled that out and I've rotated the mechanism and I've done it incorrectly. It's my fault. I've broken it. It's not you. So when that happens, make sure you pop your little lid on the edge of that. We have got the, which one? Rainbow panel. I have buried that underneath here as well. I've not been very neat with my doing of my bits today. Let's move this down here. So this one is exclusive to Sewing Street, our fabulous rainbow bundle. 55 inches wide by 2.5. Rainbow jelly roll. Look how fun that is. So we started with quite a few of these. So now we've got less than 30 of these. Really lovely, lovely colourway on that. Can you imagine that in a Bargello? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So you can see we've got all the way to our purple there, going with our blues, going to a lighter blue, and I've not got too much stuff on my stage. Oh, a little bit of a stock update. The navy squiggle fabric we had, the extra wide backing, sold out. So please don't hang around with the fabric. If there's anything you love and you want, if you haven't checked out, unfortunately, it's not yours. And we've now sold out of the navy squiggle. So we are, sure, where are we now? So we've got lots of tools after the break. So we will, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you in a few minutes. Hi, I'm John Cole Morgan, and I'm here to give you my top tips on how I go about enjoying my sewing experience. My first top tip, as everybody knows, rotary cutter safety. If you're not using it and it's not on the mat, that blade must be locked. Please be safe. My second top tip is always buy more fabric than you need. If you don't have it, it's always going to sell out. You're going to struggle to find it, and when you do, it's going to cost you a lot more than when you were going to buy it originally. So buy it all. You always regret the bit you didn't buy. My next tip is positive or negative, always listen to the advice and opinions of other people. Even if you ignore them, everybody has a different perspective, everybody has a different take on things, and it might help you along the way. The next top tip I have is always buy the most expensive and the most useful and the most practical for your brain product that works for you. Some people prefer different things, buy what works for you. And my last tip is, this is fun, this is enjoyable, and make sure you are enjoying it. Because there's nothing worse than carrying on with something and hating it and not enjoying it. You need to make sure that you're having fun. Those are my top tips and how it is that I enjoy my sewing experience. I hope they help you, because they have helped me. For more handy tips and demonstrations, make sure you watch us on our Freeview channel 74, Sky channel of 670, otherwise follow us on YouTube on Sewing Street, where you can catch up on past demonstrations and shows. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw, and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello, I'm John Cole Morgan. Welcome back to Sewing Street. I'm very excited about the next hour I've got with you because it's lots of tools and different products that are going to make your sewing life much more exciting and much easier for you. So where am I starting today? Okie dokie, so we're going to start with our add a quarter ruler. Now, most of you know I absolutely love everything foundation paper piecing. And today they have brought us this fantastic add a 1/4 inch ruler. So not only are you getting the big one there that I'm about to show you, but you're also getting the smaller one as well for $24.99. So I'm going to show you the two rulers first, and then I'm going to show you how they actually work. Does it? Oh, no. So you can see they do exactly the same job. So this one that I'm shaking about there is the 6-inch one. And this one is slightly longer. This is a 12-inch one. And obviously that would just depend whichever one you're using. Oh, look, it stands on its own. Woohoo! Whichever one you're using would depend on the width of your project and how you're doing your different projects and things like that. So I love foundation paper piecing. So I'm going to start off by showing you, so I've already started this one and I'm now doing one little extra step here. So I'm just going to very quickly fold on the line there. So when I use the fabric here, I'm just going to line that over and get this ready. So before we do that, sorry, I'm just rushing ahead as I always do. FPP is foundation paper piecing. And what foundation paper piecing is, it is literally stitching onto a foundation. So you can see on the back of my paper there, on the back of my project there is paper, whilst on the front, that's what we've got. This is what we're stitching. And then we're stitching it onto an actual foundation of fabric, of paper. So the fabric goes through the paper and we're stitching that all to make sure that it's nice and accurate, and it's just really much more precise way of actually sewing, because you're actually lining everything up on the line and you're stitching on the line, and then in theory those lines match up perfectly each time. So all I'm doing here is I'm stitching my next line along on a project that I've already started. And I'm just moving my needle into position. So all I've done along there is I have stitched, I've stitched on this line over here. You can see my stitching on that line there. But now what's so fantastic is this ruler, you've got the add a 1/4 inch. So you then fold back the fabric. Everything you want to keep, make sure everything you want to keep is underneath the paper. And then you've got this add a 1/4 inch here, which you slide along, and it meets with the piece of paper where you are. So there you go. You can see you've now lining that up. And because it's see-through, if you haven't quite met the edge, like there, you can see I didn't quite meet the edge there, you'll be able to then see that you're a little bit out. So you line everything up nice and firmly against that line. So you can see this is the line of the paper, and that's where the lip of the ruler is. So you can see the ruler's got a, there you go, it's like a little ridge, you can see there. So this is where the paper is now lined up against. So you're holding that into that section there. Next, take your rotary cutter, you press it against the ruler that you're at a 1/4 inch ruler, and you're just cutting everything off that you don't need. And you can see this is now exactly 1/4 inch away from the ruler. Now, if you didn't have this, you could use a normal ruler, but there is a very strong chance that your ruler's not going to be completely accurate and you're going to be slightly out. You may have a thicker seam on one. A lot of the things that I find, because I haven't used these before today, what I find as well is sometimes when you're pressing it, I end up with a bit more of this, one of the fabrics, overlapping, so my darker fabric pops through, and you can see that very clearly, which is not a great thing to be happening. And the good thing is when you find a tool that actually helps you and makes your processes a lot easier to do, I think that's always a great advantage on that. And they're really nice and sturdy, and they've got I love a ruler that's got the little hook, the little hole on that you can then store them and hang them up like all your rulers. You can see it's got the little, I love my little stiletto thing. You can hold it like that and it just, you can hang it up anywhere you like on there. So now what I've done is I've done my first seam on that, and now my next seam is going to be there. Now, because I've got a huge amount of fabric here and I don't need such a big amount of fabric here, do not do this at home. I'm very confident with the rotary cutter. That's the only reason I'm rough cutting that along, because I'm very confident with the rotary cutter. Please don't do that without a ruler. Right, so I now know that my next seam is going to be there, and just going to double check I've got this the right way around. Yep, that'll do it. So now, again, everything I want to keep goes underneath your ruler, and you fold your piece of paper back, double check that nothing you need to keep is on that side. And now this time you can use the smaller ruler, because you don't need such a big one. Use it exactly the same way. You line that up there. You can see all along here your line has met up with your ruler very comfortably, without the need to measure, without the need of anything, and just very simply you are then pushing along, and you've got your fabric ready to go. And it's just a nice, simple way of doing. I have to say, FPP is one of my favorite things of doing any quilting. It's just so simple. It's literally paint by numbers, because all you're doing on each one, all the way along, you can see I'm going A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, 6 and 7. So it literally is, all you're doing is you keep going up, counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you're just adding on your fabric each time you go. It's just such an easy process to do. And the great thing with these is you'll see I've done a beginner's, intermediate and an advanced, and the techniques you use for all of them are identical. It doesn't matter whether you've never done it before. It's a really simple way of doing it. I've taught it a few times on air. Do we know what dates they were? I think it was I want to say the 25th of March. That's from memory. I might be wrong. It's all those sleepless nights where I'm preparing things for the show. I think it was the 25th of March or the 23rd of March. There wasn't much sleep that week, I remember that. I've got the powers that be checking the internet. So now, because I've got a longer seam here, I'm going to use my 12-inch ruler. And again, we just line that up nice and simply. You can see that that's met all the way along my line there. I've just had it confirmed 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock on the 25th of March. That was an FPP demo for all of these pieces, all these fabulous products and designs on that. So again, I'm just simply pressing that back. I've used the Add a 1/4 inch ruler, really, really lovely product to use there. Get that nice and flat. And the 1/4 inch with that ruler, you can use it for anything because you've got so many different ways of doing it for EPP even that you're wanting to do a 1/4 inch. Only do that if you're very confident, please do not. I think dressmakers do that as well, don't they? So again, this is my last seam on this block. Just making sure I've got enough fabric to finish it. It's great value as well, the 2 rulers for $24.99. I think that's a really good deal on that. And the thing is as well, these rulers, they last forever. Once you've got them, you'll be able to use them continuously all the way along. It's brilliant. So there we go, that was my last seam. And then I'm going to use my add a 1/4 inch again. And again, you can see this is now a smaller one. My seam is smaller, so I can easily use my smaller 1/4 inch, but you can see the fabric is longer. So I'm going to use the longer one just because of ease to make sure that I get all the fabric off in a straight line. There we go. And then we're going to press this one last time. And there we go. Really, really good that. But now as well, I'm wondering, no, probably not. But you can see that it's just this 1/4 inch ruler does make life a lot easier getting your fabric lined up. It's a really great, simple way of, it just simplifies everything. And also because of them being yellow, they don't cut, most fabrics you're using aren't yellow, so you can very clearly see what you're doing underneath it. And it's just a really lovely way of doing it. And I think I'm a convert, if anything, I'm a convert on that. Okay, so we've got I'm just grabbing my samples out of this bag. We have got a couple of the samples, of the bundles left for this bag. For this pattern. So the first one we've got is the flower garden cushion cover. So that's going to be sorry, I'm just moving everything slightly around so I can get everything in the shop. So what you're going to get for this, you're going to get our fabulous pattern. So you can see the pattern has got everything you need to make the quilt up. It'll show you the different colorways. It'll then tie you into the designs and the prints at the back. Everything you need to make this is very, very clearly explained in the pattern. So that is the pattern there. Then you're going to get, now if I'm not mistaken, you're getting 1.5 meters of the white. Oh, ivory. Are we calling it ivory or white? It's ivory, isn't it? You're getting 1 meter of the emerald. And then you're getting 1/2 meter of the lime. So what that is for is, here's one I prepared earlier. No, it's not. My samples are disappearing today. Where did I put them? There it is. So what we're looking to do is, you'll see that the reason you've got the green, the emerald, you've got so much of the emerald, is this is what my sample looked like before the colour adjustments for Sewing Street, because I think the colourway that we had for Sewing Street is so much nicer, because that's really bright and vivid. But if I pop that over here, look how much more beautiful that is. It's just so much softer and just beautiful. So the colorway that you're going to get is going to be this colorway, because what you're getting is you're getting this 3 meters of fabric, but you're also getting this fabulous fat quarter bundle with these beautiful pastel colors. And you can see that this is just some of the colors that I used with to be able to make this. You can see, for example, there the pot and the flower. So you can see that that's the colourway on that. Oh, we're actually very limited on this kit as well. We've got less than 5 of these available now. And you can see that's just another way of being able to see. So my pot was really bright, vivid purple, but it just works so much nicer being this really subtle, simpler colourway. And then you've got the 2 greens in order to do your stems in one, your leaves in the other, or your leaves in one, your stems in the other, or you switch them round. And then you've got more than enough then for your background with that green. And then you've got enough fabric here to do pick and mix as you like with all the other different colours. And then you can add in your own colours as well, and maybe just use these for your stash because they're such a great colour combination. And again, limited edition, we've only got 5 of those. We're not sure we can get those in again. So if you do like them and do want them, don't hang around. If you haven't checked out yet, it's not yours until you've actually checked out. Sorry, I was just turning the iron off then because I don't like it being left on under the table. So you saw that weird shot of me there. So not only have we got that fabulous combination here for you today as well, we also have... Oh, sorry, who said that? We've had a message in from Betty saying that she loves me and thinks I'm fab. Betty, you're amazing. Thank you. I think you're wonderful. Now, as well as the lovely flower cushion, the flower garden cushion cover collection, which I'm calling my beginners, we've also got our intermediate instructions for a quilt panel, which you can see there. Again, you can have a look on the 25th of March, the different quilts that we've done on that. So this is my intermediate design on that. And I've designed all of these. They are really good to do. They take a bit of time. There's lots of concentration needed, but I promise you they're really easy. And it is mindless, simple 1, 2, 3, 4, going up and increasing the numbers as you go along. So that was the intermediate instructions, and all of the instructions have got a really nice colorway. So you'll see that that's the numbering, that's the colorway. So you'll be able to see all the different colors that we suggest. And each of these have got, and then I show you how you put the whole quilt together and how you build it all the way up, and then how that there ties up with that one. And it's just a nice way of being able to show you how these go together. Now, the one thing just to remember is, like when I'm sewing this, so this one won't really show because it's identical both ways. The way I'm sewing that may look different to the way it ends on the fabric here. So these pictures look like the fabric. So like this, you'll see there's the fabric there, there are the lines there, but they're on this side. Because it's backwards, it's reverse. So that if you look at that and you're thinking, huh, what? Remember, you're sewing on the reverse. This is what it ends with. This is where you're sewing with. But you can see every single block is in here. Everything's available. And these are just the instructions. You can use whatever fabric you like. We've run out of the full kits on the advanced and intermediate. So those will be coming soon. And then we've got the advanced one as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to move anything. Oh no, that works fine. So the advanced one has got this fabulous flying geese border in. I don't know if we can zoom in on that. So the only reason this is advanced is because it's got this fabulous middle border. And the middle border there you can see is just really, really gorgeous. And it just ties in so well with the other with everything in there. But it's a lot of work because there's 40, there's 10, there's 80 strips of those. Well, let's work this out. So 10, that's 40. There's 320 flying geese around the quilt. So I promise you now, by the end of this quilt, you will be an absolute expert on doing flying geese with foundation paper piecing. So this bundle that we've got today is for all 3 of these fabric patterns. All of these patterns are, all 3 of those patterns are $19.99. Now these have been up 3 or 4 times and they have sold out within a couple of hours of them being up before, and we don't have huge amounts of the stock on them. So if you are interested, please don't hang around with these because they sold out every single time. And but there we go, $19.99 available, 1 day P&P all day. So when you're doing all these sewings, you're going to make sure you need all the good tools. So I'm going to bring you this fabulous little conglomeration of all the tools in one go. So you may not be able to see this little wooden block on the bottom here. What's the best way of showing you there? It's just easier to do this. This block, I think, is absolutely genius because it's got all these little grids in there. Got all these little grids in there. It's not including any of the rulers. I'm going to cover the rulers. So that is what you're getting there. And it's got all these lovely little grids. But the grids are so wonderful because if you are storing your rulers, it just puts them all into, it space saves, and everything that you're looking for is then all available at any point. I think these 1/4 inches will go in. No. And then you can put them sideways. And then if you've got a slightly bigger one, goes in sideways as well. Now, talking of rulers, I'm actually just, oh gosh, have we only got 20 of these left? Got less than 20 of these left. Really, really popular. Now, I need a little piece of paper. I'm going to find a piece of paper here. Right. So, I want you all to do yourself a favour. Most of us have had these rulers for ages, okay? I know I did, and somebody told me this the other day, and I didn't know about this. If you have your ruler, pop it on your shelf like this, and if you can get a piece of paper under your ruler at any point, you need to look at what the ruler looks like at that point, because I did this yesterday and I didn't know this. I've had my ruler so long, I've actually worn a hole in my ruler. And by a hole, I mean it's a divot. So where I'm thinking I'm cutting a perfectly straight line, I'm actually cutting a curve. So all those the seams and points that I've missed all along the years, not me, it's my broken ruler. So when you've got a ruler like this at home, I want you to double check me with this for me. If you can get a piece of card through, and I'm lifting the ruler up here, if you can get a piece of paper through, but then it stops there, just check your ruler whether it's actually cutting straight, because a lot of our rulers actually, we've had them for so long, they have actually worn away, because if you think of how many thousands of times you've cut along there, have a look. Mine isn't a Creative Grids ruler, that was yesterday, and I'm now going to replace it with a Creative Grids ruler. So this one is the largest of it. This one is at 8.5. Yes, 8.5 by 24.5 inches. 24.5 inches this way is a really good size because it's the width of most fabric. It fits onto most cutting mats. That way it's really great length. This one's a couple of inches wider than most rulers that people get, which is really, really good. Again, it's got that fabulous Creative Grids technology there where you can see you've got the, I'm going to call them grippy bits until somebody tells me what they are actually called. So this is the shiny side all the way along. You can see that's nice and shiny. So that's what most of our rulers are like. And I just literally, all you do is you do this. You can see you can move your ruler really easily by doing that. If I rotate this round, and you can see I've got all these grippy bits here, and I try and do the same thing, the ruler is not moving anywhere near as much. It will obviously move if you put too much pressure on it, but the pressure you put on to make it move is a lot more than if you've got it on the slippy side, because you can see that moves a lot easier. So why is that important, people always ask. So when you're cutting, if your ruler moves, firstly, you're going to cut the fabric, it's not going to be accurate. Secondly, there's a risk of safety, because the number of times we've all done it, pushing on a ruler and it goes that way, and sometimes your finger falls off. If you're going with your blade, it's not safe. You need to make sure that you're safe. So nothing is ever completely 100% safe, but this certainly does help because you've got these automatic built-in grips that are going to stop the ruler moving as a standard course. So that's the 8.5 by 24.5 inch ruler. So the great thing with this as well, which I'm really pleased we're going to do, is we're going to look at the actual measurements themselves, because many people don't know. For example, I do some of my patterns in 16ths. I know everybody's just recoiled in horror at that point. So if we zoom in here, I can show you where, so I'll move that, there we go, perfect. If we stop there, So you can see now that's 2 inches there, that's 3 inches there, that's 2.5, okay? So halfway between 2 and 2.5 is 1/4, and halfway between 2.5 and 3 is 3/4. But now, halfway between 1 and 1/4 is 1/8. Halfway between 1/4 and 1/2 is 3/8, which is that one over there. And then halfway between 1/2 and 3/4 is 5/8. And half between 3/4 and 1/2, which will be 3, is 7/8. And then, if you want to get really complicated, between 0 and 1/8 is 1/16, 3/16, 5/16, 7/16, and it's not marked there, but you can easily get down to 16ths because this is marked so clearly in the black. You're looking at the halfway mark for your 16ths. It's a really, really nice ruler to be able to use and to be able to have such clear defined markings on that. It's a really great ruler. And you've got your angles as well, which is the 30-degree. You've got a 30-degree angle, you've got a 45-degree angle there. Most of them have a 60-degree angle as well. This one, no. Oh, there's the 60-degree. So the 60 is coming from the other end of the 30-degree there. So you've got all your major angles on it as well. So there's your 60-degree, so you'd be working it from that end, and then your 30-degree from that end. Your 45-degree there, then you've got another 45-degree there, another 45-degree there. And then this one is an 8.5 inch wide, which is a little bit wider than the 6.5 inch I'm about to show you now. So if you are ever buying just one ruler and you want a ruler for quilting or whatever it is that you like, I would actually go for the 8.5 inch because there are occasions where you'll need that extra 1.5 inches. It does exactly the same job as the 6.5. I just like having that little bit of safety, and that was why I would go for the 8.5. But the 6.5 is the most popular. This is the one that 99% of quilters get as their first ruler, and it's a really good price for the 6.5 by 24.5. That's £24.99. You've got the same detailing with regards to the calibration of the ruler. You've got the same, so you can see they're very easily exactly the same. You've got the same technology when it comes to these little grippy bits. If I can get, there we go. So you can see that, I love finding the stage lights on this. So you can see that it's got that nice little textured bit there, and on the edge over here and over there. It just makes moving your ruler there with the slippy side. If you put this the right way round, you can see it's nowhere near as movable as the other way round. Really lovely product this, and again, you've got your 45-degree angles there, you've got your 60 and you've got your 30. So you've got all of your angles on there as well. That's your 24.5 by 6.5 inch ruler. They're really great quality, these rulers. They really are. And they last for ages as well. The next good one that you would have is those are all the rectangles. Now we're going to start with squares, because squares are always handy as well. This one is the smallest one, a 6.5 inch one. This is fantastic when you're doing half square triangles, because when you're doing half square triangles, you line your seam of your half square triangle up with this line here, and then you trim 2 sides, then you flip this round and you line your seam up again, and then the 2 you've already trimmed, you line up to the size you want it, and then you trim off the other side. So this is a really, really good, I've got 2 or 3 of these because they are such great products, and literally every time I'm looking for a ruler, this is the one I'm looking for most, because I want to trim something up, cut something small, really nice, and that's it's just nice to have them in the different places that you use them. I've got them in my quilting bags, my retreat bags, and scattered all over the studio as well. They're really, really great rulers, these. These are £14.99 today with Creative Grids, and again, it's got that non-slippy technology. The other side there you can see is much more slippy, whereas if you do it this way, where you've got the same circles and things there. And you can put ruler grips on. You'd get those little plasticky bits that you put on there, but it does raise it up. And also, when I'm cutting, I want to cut and then slide and do it that way. When you've got the slippy bits on, you can't do that good slide, which I think is just that little bit. I like having that ease of being able to do it. Cut, slide, cut, slide, whereas with the other one you've got to pick it up and do that way. I've always liked that less step process on it. That's the 6.5 inch one, and again, with most Creative Grids, you get your little hangy bit, and you can easily hang that off a grip if you want to. And then you've also got the 8.5 inch square as well, exactly the same, got your hangy bit. you've got your 45-degree line down the middle, and this is 8.5 inches, this one. You've got that nice flat edge on there, and again, you can see you've got the grippy bits on the other side. So for sizing wise, if you're looking to just buy one, I use my 6.5 inch more than I use my 8.5 inch. It's just that's a really good size to do it. Most squares that you're half square triangling are smaller than 8.5 inch. They're not going to be this big. But again, this is a really good, there are always those occasions where you do need that slightly larger ruler. So maybe it is better for you to get the 8.5, and then on those few occasions that you need it, you've got it. There is no right or wrong on this. It's just what you're going to cut normally. And some rulers are more portable as well. And this one, either of these just slot so easily in your bag. There's not that much difference between them. They're just a really, really fantastic ruler. And you will use them a lot in any form of quilting. Bag making as well. These are really, really handy as well. And then we've got our Stripology. So this is the mini squared one. We're going to cut a square out now, aren't we? Let's do this. Right. So the largest square that this is telling me, I think, is 6.5 inches. Because it's saying 6.5 there, 6.5 there. But it's saying you can cut to 6 3/4 on the top over here. So I'm going to cut out the largest. So as far as I'm 100... So anybody who hasn't used one of these before, I think my fabric's a little bit wide for this. So I'm going to just cut this 1/4 inch on this. Yes, it is 1/2 inch. It is 1/2 inch. Just going to check that's going to fit in my little piece. Yes, that's much better. And again, obviously you can fold the fabric and everything. I'm just having such a great day with my demos going wrong. I'm going to cut this and make sure I can get it as easy as possible so that I don't break anything else in the set today. So what we're going to do here is, oh, I know what this is. So you've got two different directions here. We've got the 0 to 6 at the bottom here, but you've got an extra hole here, so it'll go to 6.5. But on the other side, you've got it 1/4, 3/4, and what that is you're going to line everything up on this dotted line over here so that you can get that extra 1/4 inch in on your ruler. So sometimes, let's say you're wanting to cut a 6 1/4 inch triangle out, a square out, you're then going to line the edge of your fabric up over there, and then you can cut a 6 1/4 inch square out over here. That's what this is for. So you can do it both ways. You've got your 1/4 cuts over here and your 1/2 inch cuts over here. 1/4 inch cuts over there and your 1/2 inch cuts over here. So I'm going to stick with the 1/2 inch cuts just because everything's going so swimmingly for me today. And I'm going to line that up there. Right, get rid of that. So now I know I've got one completely straight edge over here, which I've just cut. So I'm going to line that up on my 6.5 inch line because I've already cut that. So I know that I want it to be 6.5. So I'm going to cut this way here. Obviously, you can do it the other way around if you like. So I line that up there. I think I've left this a little bit too long, haven't I? Right, so that is exactly 6.5 inches this way. So I'm going to now line that up perfectly on my mat. You can see I've lined that up to the mat there, and I've lined it up here. Ooh, there we go. And I'm now going to put that in the middle of that again, and I'm going to line my 0 line up with this line over here. So you can see I've lined that line up perfectly there. I've got my ruler upside down, that's why it's not working. My brain was having a moment then, forgive me. Right. So that side is completely square, that one's square, that one's square, this one's square. And now I don't need to move my ruler at all because I've cut that on there. I just pop this in this side. And I have a perfect 6.5 inch square. That is really good. But now let's say, for example, I wanted to cut that smaller. Ooh. I've just had the challenge. Let's do 1/2 inch strips. So let's do 1/2 inch strips. I'm going to slide that out my way. Not sure what we'll use them for. But you can see how simple it is to use this. And you can easily fold your fabric here, and you can have 2, 3 or 4 layers here very comfortably. And the thing is, well, you can see my hand over here hasn't moved. My pressure on that side of the ruler is working fine. I haven't moved my hand. It's stayed completely right, the same. And you can see how simple it is to cut. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got 2 inches there. Oh my goodness, this is fabulous. I've just noticed you've got these stars over here. So if you're looking for an 1.5 inch cut, you just follow the stars, because how many of us are doing that and you're going 1.5 plus 4.5 is 6. Okay, 6 and 1, and you're always adding it up in your head and you're always going to get it wrong. But here you've got the star markings ready lined up for you to know that you can do the 1.5 inches there very, very comfortably. Have I got a bit more fabric that I can do that? I'm going to be bold and I'm going to do them this way. So there, oh, it's because it was too long, that was why. So there you go, you can see I'm just folding my fabric in half. And I'm going to follow those star lines. So because my fabric's in half, you can see I've lined my line here up against the fold of the fabric. And I'm now going to follow those star lines and cut 1.5 inch strips all the way along. And again, there we go, 1.5 inch strips. Nice and simple. Nice and easy there. Always popular. These have, was it this one that sold out the other day? Yes, we've just had these re-delivered this week. So lovely, lovely product. This one is called the Mini, Stripology Squared Mini. And that's £36.99. Really lovely that. So those are all my rulers, bar my absolute favourite one, and I'm hoping we've got this in stock today. So this one we did have a couple of months ago with a free changing blade. Unfortunately, that was a one-off deal. It doesn't come with a free changing blade. But this is the thing that I use most in my studio. I absolutely cannot rave about it enough. It is so easy to use. It's just so effortless to do. You can see you're just literally moving your ruler along. I'm going to cut these to, let's say, 2.5 inches. I line my 2.5 inch line up. You can cut towards you or away from you because you've got these fabulous stoppers on the edge of the ruler over here. You'll see you've got that stopper there. So if I push this towards there, it's not coming off. And then you've got this, just like a normal rotary cutter, you undo that nut there to take your blade out, to change it. And you've got the stopper on the other end over there as well, if you're wanting it to stop. And for dexterity issues or any form of, if you've got problems with your wrists when you're using it, I have found in my experience that this has worked very, very well for me because. But you can see how comfortable it is to use. And if you can't use your arm or you can't use your wrist for anything or like that, or some people, you can use your fist down like that because most people haven't got a problem being able to do it that way. It's just any form of repetitive movement like that, anything that's going to make your life a little easier is going to be better for you. So this is $64.99. and it is genuinely one of my absolute favourite products. I have 2 or 3 of them. So this one's got really great markings on it as well. Let me put this ivory fabric underneath it. I'm not going to move my blade. So you can see the markings on it are incredibly clear. So again, you've got your 1/8 there, you've got it very easy, you've got your angles easily set up, and if I move that down, you can see you've got your 60° there, 45° there, you've got your 30° there as well. And the good thing is your numbers are reversible, so it is completely left and right-handed, so you can see there would be for your right-handed, and if you rotate the ruler around, you've got your left-handed readings on that as well. And Fiskars. Fiskars is one of the best brands in the world for most things. They own Royal Doulton. They've been around since 1645, I think it was. They are an absolutely incredible company, always on the cutting edge of finding really great technologies and being able to convert them from one industry to another to be able to make it work. Because this is effectively a paper guillotine that they've converted to put a fully functioning rotary cutter in. Genius, and it works so well. Again, you've got your little handle to carry it around. You've got your hanging up hole over there if you're going to hang it up on there. The only thing I will say is if you are traveling with this, please keep the box, because if you do push down on this, the blade is active and you can then cause injury. So make sure you keep that with you in your packaging. Sorry, what was that? The Alpha rotary cutter, which one? 45? The yellow one. This one. Perfect. So we also have our 45mm rotary cutter by Alpha. This is a great product because you've got that safety message. This is the one that Vix uses. She loves this one because when you're doing it, and if you need to hold it open for any reason, you can do that, or you let it go, and then to activate it, you're just moving your lever up. And the good thing with this is if you actually then put it down, even if you don't lock it, if you're putting it down, it's quite hard to activate that, because even if you press it there, it's not very easy to activate. I do say to people, just make sure that when you finish using it, you lock it. It's just a good practice to have. But this is a fabulous product as well. I've learnt to quilt with those, and I think these can be converted to left-handed as well. So all you do is you rotate it and you put your blade on this side for the left-handed and put your screw on the other side for your left-handed. But it is a really great product, this. As I said, I learnt to quilt on them. I think it's fantastic there. $19.99 for that product there. So now we've got some books. I love a book one. So which one are we doing first? Right. Let's start with the middle one. Jelly Roll Quilts in a Weekend by Pam and Nikki Lintott. Now, Pam and Nikki Lintott, most of you may not know, they're down in Dorking, and I think their shop is called the Quilt Room. And I've been there, and it's a fabulous shop, and they're a mom and daughter team. Amazing ladies. They've written so many fantastic books. So you would have heard of them before. I've not actually seen this book before, so we're going to enjoy it together. Wow, look at all these quilts. Oh, they're fabulous. Now, how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Oh, it said on the front if I actually use my brain. 15 different quilt designs. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? Look at those. And it does give you the little getting started. What is a jelly roll? Because with jelly rolls, most people, they write these books for jelly rolls, but obviously you can make your own jelly roll. You can make your own 2.5-inch strips of any fabric you like. This is great because it gives you the washing notes, the seam allowances on how you go along and doing it all. It's a... We've just had a message in from June asking about the Fiskars rotary cutter and ruler. Can you use your normal Fiskars blades? I've used Alpha blades with them. I use any blades with them. They're completely compatible with any 45mm rotary cutter blade. You're absolutely fine with them. The Fiskars one, obviously they recommend to use the Fiskars with the Fiskars product. There is no difference. I have used all blades on them very, very comfortably. So, yep, very easily done with that. Thank you for calling in, June, and letting us know. Or messaging in, should I say. So this is a lovely little book here that is showing you all the different techniques of being able to get these steps in place to build that. The good thing about using a jelly roll is obviously you've got your automatic darks and lights. Look at that. That is really clever as well. But equally, if you wanted to do your own border fabric there or use the specific fabrics for those strips, that would work beautifully as well. Oh, that's so clever. Look, it's created the star effect in the middle. Well, the great thing is with this is whether you, let's say, for example, you wanted to make 4 or 5 of these. Oh my gosh, but each one you look at, there's something different to look at. Look at that. That's so clever. Sorry, I'm busy going on a train of thought and then get distracted by the beautiful book. So it's $10.99 for 15 different projects in there. Oh, wow, look at that. Sorry, I'm going back a step to see. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. But you see, something like that is so unique. I've not seen that before. That's very clever. That quilt is 60 inches by 72, uses 1 jelly roll, 3 meters of background fabric, and ½ meter of binding. Oh, and it uses our wonderful 60-degree triangle. Uses our 60-degree triangle, that. So if you bought the 60-degree triangle, you might want to have a little look at this picnic time one, because it uses the same ruler. That's very clever. Oh, and honeycomb. Really lovely little book, that one. So the next one we've got is pre-cut quilts. I absolutely adore books. I have several thousand of them. So this has got 10 dazzling projects for $10.99, so that's just over £1 a project. And these are done by different designers, and they've put all their favourite projects in with all these different designs and everything. So you're getting a really nice collection of makes there. Oh, look at that one. Look at that. So this would use that 60... I keep opening up to that 60-degree ruler today, don't I? Is that 60? 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not the 60-degree ruler. Oh, how has she done that? You realise I'm now going to sit and read this pattern until I figure it out. Right, they're not getting this book back from me. You've made 63 triangles. I'm not sure how you've done that, but there we go. What's 360 degrees divided by 7? "51-degree triangles." I'm not sure how she's done that. That was great skill. Oh, that's really nice. I love these. You see, with me, I would use the same background for the stars, but then do different fabrics for the snowballing of them. I think that's really cute. Oh, and they've made them bigger here as well. Or are they all the same size? They look smaller there. Oh, so the blocks are 12-inch squares. I think they've just zoomed in there or zoomed out. It's these clever photographers. I never quite know how they do it all. So that's a really lovely little book, that one. Make pre-cut quilts, and that is $10.99. And I think... Oh, there we go. That'll be why we don't do all of this. So this is the Compendium of Quilting Techniques by Susan Briscoe. Sorry, we had this in stock for Vicky's birthday. Oh, so this is back in stock. So these, we're down to a handful of these. If you're looking for thorough and you're looking for detail, you can't really go much further than this one. She covers absolutely everything. There's a colour wheel. Gosh, look at that. For $9.99, this compendium. I think I actually have this one. Look at all these different projects. Oh gosh, and it even goes down to fussy cutting. Oh, there's a stack and whack. Oh, she's done it differently to me. Oh, okay, so that's the technique she's doing there. Okay. Gosh, there's loads of information in these. Easy foundation piecing. Oh, that's effective. Look at that. Autumn leaves were collected, pressed and dried between sheets of newspaper and used to make the freezer paper templates for this quilt. Gosh, that's clever. So this is literally the name of the book is The Compendium of Quilting Techniques, 400 Tips, Techniques and Trade Secrets for Quilt Making. You could easily cut this book up and make loads of different books with it. You even got the bags, the big stitch and tying. So that's the actual quilting process itself. Bindings and finishings. So these unfortunately are limited at the moment. Because of where we all are, we've got stock issues everywhere on certain things. And this unfortunately is one of them. So do make sure that you check that out. Oh, Linda, she's the president of the Quilters Guild. Not sure her address should be in the book, but there we go. Oh, look at that vintage EPP project there. That's gorgeous. Really. Oh, and care and storage on how to store your quilts as well. So everything you could possibly want to know about quilting is in this one. Covers absolutely everything. Oh, even does the fast corners and snowballing your blocks. It is definitely a workshop and a book, and for $9.99, wow, really great price that. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, we're down to single fingers on this now, so please don't hang around until you've checked out and you've actually paid for it. Unfortunately, it is not yours. And then we've got Annie's Quilting Big Blocks quilts. So these have to get shipped in from America because we can't get them here. I saw this the other day and I absolutely loved this book. Really, really lovely projects in here. Look at that. And they break them down into really easy bite-sized pieces in how you make them all to build them all up to get that. I'm just going to go to my absolute favorite piece in this one. Look at that. And it's gorgeous because you've got these wonderful ways of making these squares here, but equally, look at that for a plique. Isn't that just so, so lovely? And it gives you the placement diagrams, and it also then teaches you how to do your raw edge fusible applique stitching, running stitch, blanket stitch, satin stitch, buttonhole stitch, zigzag stitch. So you've got 5 different options there of how you can do that. And it's just so, so cleverly done on that. And you've got all your samples in there as well. And the good thing with this is you can actually change it as you go if you want to. You could maybe put an extra border at the top. It just gives you all the techniques on how to do the quilt. I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but I think I'm quite creative that way. So I'm looking at that and thinking, I don't like the fact it hasn't got a border at the top. So I'm like, oh, I can stick another one there. I can stick another one there. I can stick another flower there, more work there, more work there. I can do this. I'm always trying to make as complicated as possible. But look how beautiful these are. And you can see the numbering on all these appliques. So you can see that's number 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's really important with these that you know in what order you're putting them down and stitching them down so that you know where you are. But that's not the only project in this book, obviously. You've got 10 different projects in this book for $8.99. So that's just, what's that? Just under 90p per project. Can't go wrong with that. Sorry? Oh, I hadn't seen this one. So we are just inundated with fabulous Gutermann products today. This is Gutermann sewing thread. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different Gutermann threads on there. Different colours, so you'll see we've got a light grey, a navy, a red, a is that black or brown? Brown, sort of an oatmeal colour, cream, and that's is that white or is that grey? It looks like white, and then black. So these are the colours that would they're very rich. Dressmaking, bag making, quilting. But if you imagine doing sort of a Christmas quilt as well, these would pop up beautifully, or any form of quilting on that. And you get these fabulous fabric clips with it as well. So you're getting, how many of those? 10 of those fabric grips, and we're getting 8 spools of thread for $14.99. So like our early bird, we were saying that these are $1.99 each, usually. So you're looking at about £19 just for those. And we sell these at, are they $7.49? They're $7.99 for 10 of them. $7.49, isn't it? So yes, either way, that's a really great deal. The saving you're getting on this rather than buying them individually is really good. And these coloured threads are really popular. Shall I open this? I'll show you the colours. I'm always scared of opening box. There we go. Oh, June's just messaged in saying thank you for answering our question. You're most welcome. And I promise you, I've used it and I always use them. They're a fabulous product. You won't regret it. So these wonderful little paper. Oh, these are cute. So these are slightly different to our clover ones because they've got a curved edge on both sides there. Really good for bag making those. So you're getting 10 of those. This one is a light grey. These are 100 meters of polyester, yeah. And then we've got, is that black or navy? I can't really tell. So this is 339. Don't know. I think that's navy. If you want to double check, it's colour 339. That one's colour 156. This is definitely a nice, gorgeous chocolate brown, 696. So those are all the colours you're going to get with that bundle. So we've also got our fabulous rainbow panel for you today. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Got our fabulous rainbow panel here. These are 55 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. I'm hoping I'm not going to knock anything on the set over. I'm just going to move these rulers out because that is a disaster waiting to happen with my luck today. Move that over there. As long as we can all have a good chuckle about it, can't we? So you can see the detailing on all of these. It just beautifully works. So we've got less than 20 of these now. These are $14.99 for these. Our design roll strips are usually $19.99. So you can see you are saving money there. And it does cost you. And the great thing is it's such great value for all the fabric that you're getting here. And all these different colours. Look at those. Look how beautifully that just gradiates all the way through. Gosh, you've got to love a rainbow. So that's our rainbow design roll strip bundle there. How are we doing on our early birds? Because I think this is such a great early bird. Really, really popular this morning. Wow, we have 11 left. So I'm going to show you exactly what you're getting. If I can open the box, there we go. You're getting this fabulous tape measure, 60-inch tape measure, imperial on one side, metric on the other. So you can see the imperial there. And these are, you can see there the three different, the colours I love, because then you know kind of where you're going there. These we found as a competitive price just on that was £3.50. Most of us know that Gutermann threads that you're getting 100 metre of polyester for around about £1.90 each time you buy one spool. There are 10 different colours here, 10 different spools, and this whole bundle with the tape measures coming in at £14.99. So we've got our black, we've got our white, we've got our gorgeous lime green, we've got our lovely blue, got a nice little orange there, lovely little red, a yellow, pink. Am I going to stay on the shot? No, move those back. There we go. And then this beautiful fuchsia. And last but not least, that gorgeous purple. So you're getting all of that in this wonderful presentation box as well. all for $14.99. Really lovely little product that for our early bird. And don't forget our one-day P&P. So if you do see something that you like, you're going to only pay postage and packaging throughout the day. And you can then follow all of our different channels of social media, being our Facebook page, Sewing Street TV, as well as Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. And we've got our Facebook fans page, which is Sewing Street Fans. And then obviously our wonderful YouTube channel on YouTube, which is Sewing Street. So any of today's items that you want to watch back, that'll be available in about 2 or 3 hours. And any show that we've had on before, you'll be able to get that easily and comfortably on that channel. Tomorrow you've got me again, and we've got the Moda launch of, now I'm going to get this wrong completely, Chafakani by French General. Oh, I love French General. I cannot wait for that. And then we've got quilting tools at 9 o'clock. And then we've got my fabulous 2 brand new Bargellos in a brand new colorway. So I'm really excited about that, to show you that tomorrow. So thank you so much for your time today. See you tomorrow.